Welcome, everybody, to We Geek Podcast. Today is August 29th. It's episode 148. My name is Adam, and I'm joined by my good friend Logan.
Hello.
What up, man? And dude, how's your week been?
Work and some more work. Thank God the theater's been slowing down because the pizza place has been kicking up with everybody going back to school and everything. Oh wait, we have to celebrate the last night before the children go off to school. Let's all get pizza. Hey, you survived your first day of school. Let's all get pizza. Like we had, because I can tell this story and not get in trouble because it happens to everybody in food service. We had, and in one of the corporate inspectors show up, not the health inspector, but the company showed up because we've been waiting for him for I don't even know how long, and everybody's been on edge, and it's been really great in a really perverse kind of way to watch. And it was it's like, okay, and they're gonna show up like mid-afternoon, like right when we get busy, because that's always how that happens. They showed up 20 minutes after we opened, and for the hour they were there, we were busier that day than we were for the entire afternoon that same day a week before.
Oh, wow.
We got creamed. We passed, hallelujah. But it was just one of those things of did this happen? Of course this had to happen now. It was the busiest of that day that we've had in a long time, and that of course that's when they showed up.
But yeah, that's crazy.
So fun stuff. But I mean, other than that, it's just more of the same.
More of the same. So let me ask you, what is your favorite kind of like fast food pizza?
Pizza Hut and I go way back.
Yeah.
Papa John's and I have a really bad history, but that was like one location, and I know I've talked about that, but I still carry that grudge. That's, up here we've got like a little buffet place called Village Inn. It's pretty good. If you if you want to go in and sit down, they do theirs buffet style, kind of like how was it Hungry Howie's or Cece's, but they do it like that. But I think Pizza Hut's probably always been my favorite.
Pizza Hut, yeah. Mellow Mushroom has to be my favorite. Have you ever had Mellow Mushroom?
I have. I had it. The first time I heard about it was when I was in Orlando, because there was that one down. Whatever it was, Aloma, I think.
Yeah.
And I had it once, and I was like, it was okay. I didn't hate it, but I was like, I don't know, I wasn't really impressed.
Just gotta be my favorite.
Yeah, and I think that maybe that was part of it. I'd heard so many people hype it up, and I went in, and I was like, yeah, it's good, but
Yeah. Oh man, I love their bread. It's so fucking good. You ever had Marco's?
Yeah, so we actually have a Marco's up here. It's another one that's it's okay. It's way too overpriced for my taste.
Overpriced? $8 for a large.
Not up here, it's not.
Oh, that's crazy.
At least not lately. It's
man, you gotta get the specials. Sundays and Mondays, and in carry out, it's $8 for one topping large pizza.
Ah, okay. Which
is fantastic. Yeah, to me that's the same price as the other places. So I was like, all right,
yeah,
I'm in.
It's not bad, and their pizzas are good size. They're a little bigger than most.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I like the way they put the sausage on it, and the crust. You can get the different flavors or whatever. I just had it for the first time a few weeks ago.
Oh,
and yeah, she was like, "Hey, do you want to get some Marco's?" And I was like, "What is that?" Pizza. And I was like, "Oh, I've never had that before," and holy shit, it was good. Oh yeah. Also, has to be one of my top 4 fast food pizza is Costco. Costco makes an amazing cheese pizza.
Really? I did not. I don't think I knew that.
Oh, go to Costco. Have their hot dogs too. They make really good hot dogs.
That I've heard. That one I knew.
Yes. Yeah, because they keep it. It's all moist with the bread and everything else. It's so good.
Nice.
But yeah, you gotta try their pizza. And I'm crazy. I'll go to where they put the onions for the hot dogs, and I'll just kind of just put the onions all over the pizza too, which is weird. And everyone looks at me, but I don't care. It's so good.
Onions on pizza is not weird.
Well, it's it's the diced cold onions for hot dogs, but I just put it on top of it. Yeah,
I get it. That's fair. Yeah.
But I love onions so much, so it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, I'll tell you who I think has they used to be around here, but they're not anymore. But my absolute favorite pizza of all time is a place in Mooresville. It's called Turn 4 Pizza. They
never
used
heard of
to
it.
they used to be. It's a little it's a local place. It used to be in Statesville, and then they moved years ago. But they're in Mooresville now, and they're kind of their pizzas are all kind of racing themed and everything because we're in NASCAR country up here.
Right.
But it's something else that it's a little more on the pricey side, but it's because it's not like fast food pizza.
Right.
Really, it's more. It's just not. It's not that same kind of like Domino's, Papa John's, whatever. It's
right.
like that next level up, like something like Mellow Mushroom in that sense. Like it's not meant to be like, oh my god, I ran and grabbed this and left. Like Little Caesars.
Right.
But it's oh man, that's delicious. That's probably my favorite is Turn 4. It's so good.
Okay. Yeah, I guess out of the top big top 4, I don't know. Everyone hates Domino's, but I love Domino's.
I haven't had Domino's in years.
Yeah, everyone I talk to, they absolutely hate it, but I liked it. I never thought it was as bad as everyone thought. I think it got a bad rap. Pizza Hut. Whenever I think of Pizza Hut, I think of the Casper movie.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
Yep. And whenever I think of Domino's, I think of Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
When he delivers the Domino's.
Yeah, just slide it through the grate, man. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Oh man, that's so good. Definitely one of the top food combinations. I think when I think of Taco Bell, I think of Star Wars Episode 1.
Really?
Did you ever collect the Star Wars things?
No.
From Taco Bell?
I never did.
Oh. Yeah, whenever Episode 1 came out, they had a contest thing where if you collected certain, I forgot how it went. Now I need to Google it. But you would collect certain things, and if you got let's say 4 of this certain thing, kind of like how McDonald's does
Monopoly. Yeah,
it was basically McDonald's Monopoly, but with Star Wars characters.
Okay.
Yeah, and of course, I don't know anyone that ever won. I'm sure one person on the planet did, but man, I went there every day, even though I'm not a fan of Taco Bell. I went there all the time just to buy whatever. Sometimes I didn't even eat the food. I would just drink the soda, and get the chip or card or whatever it was. But it was right when Episode 1 came out, so I was seeing that movie almost every weekend, eating a shitload of Taco Bell and playing the Episode 1 game on my old ass compact PC. Yeah. That's how old it was.
That's been a while.
Yeah, dude. Oh yeah. Any kind of food comes to mind when you think of a franchise or something like that? How I thought of Star Wars with Taco Bell.
See, when I think of Taco Bell, I think Godzilla.
Godzilla. Oh, did they have the same kind of contest?
They had that. No, because remember the commercial with the troll. Here, lizard.
Oh yeah.
I think I'm gonna need a bigger box. That was. I always think of that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That. See, it's interesting. You think you do Ninja Turtles and Domino's? I do Ninja Turtles and Pizza Hut.
What did they do with Pizza Hut?
Well, because they sponsored with the movies.
Well, I thought it was Domino's.
No, the newer movies, not the older ones. Domino's did the older ones, Pizza Hut did the newer ones.
Oh, well, that's why. I mean, the older ones is what that's when I was sucked in to Ninja Turtle fandom. I still am. I'll still, even if someone tells me the new movies are terrible, I'll still go watch it and find something to enjoy about it. Everyone seems to hate Ninja Turtles 3, but I saw that when I was a kid and I thought it was fantastic.
Oh, come on. Who doesn't love, Samurai Turtles? Come on.
Yeah, it's ridiculous on every level, but I fucking ate that shit up, and I had we've talked about this, all the toys, I say that, but I probably didn't. I probably had 6, but in my head, I had all the toys.
Yeah.
And, that was what we watched every week. It was just, I was obsessed. And so when we went and saw the movies, and it was weird too, because everyone loves nowadays, if you talk to someone our age and they're talking about Ninja Turtles, they say the first one's the best. It was the darkest. It's the one that followed the comic. But when I was a kid, the second was my favorite. I thought the first one was way too dark as a kid. I thought it was kind of boring. But the second one to me was more like the cartoon, which is what I knew.
Yeah. Agreed.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I hear you.
So as an adult, I'm like, I agree with everything you're saying. The first one is fucking amazing. But as a kid, that's not what I thought. I thought like, well, this is kind of weird and depressing. Why are they on a farm? And what's going on with Roth? But the second one, it was like, let's order pizza and kick ass and be ninjas in a New York apartment that's probably way too expensive for someone like April O'Neil. I don't know. I just thought it was weird. But I loved the second one, especially with the who were they again? The Bebop and Rocksteady.
Toka and Razor. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, the ninja rap and everything. Oh man, I love that.
Go.
Every once in a while, every blue moon, it's nice to kick back, put in those movies, order a pizza, crack open a 2-liter of Pepsi, and like pretend it's the 90s again.
That's true.
I love those movies. Even the newer ones, I think, are great. I had fun with them. I hope they make more. Are they going to be making more? Did they announce that?
I don't know. I know because I know they're doing the new series again.
Yes.
I'm not.
People seem to love. I saw some. Well, let me let me preference that. The same people who our age get really weird about new animation said the same like weird shit. Like, oh my god, it looks so weird. It looks. But like the people that I know with kids and they watched it with their kids, they said it's great. It's Ninja Turtles.
Nice. There you go.
Yeah, and it's made by the guy who did Samurai Jack. So I could totally understand why at first glance you're like, whoa, why do they look like this or whatever. But I hear it's great. I hear it's an awesome cartoon to watch with your kids. So that is awesome. That is awesome.
Nice.
But yeah, man. Where were we? I just totally off the rails. But anyway. I didn't even talk about what I did this week. So I've been doing some really cool things with work I can't really talk about, but I've been able to get like super creative and stuff. So I love that. It beats what I normally do for work. So that's been really fun. I've got to meet so many cool people and connect with them. So that's been really awesome. Movie Pass is it dead yet?
It might as well be. I actually canceled mine.
It didn't work for me, and I have like the yearly. I saw online that I had up to a certain date to cancel my yearly membership and get money back
and get a refund. Yeah, they've been doing that.
But I haven't gotten that email, so I don't think I can.
Probably not.
Yeah, no, I get emails that say it's not too late to go see American Animals, but I didn't get the email to cancel my subscription.
Yeah, we have people all the time come into the theater and they get mad at us because like, well, Movie Pass isn't working, but I paid for it. Sorry, wait, we have nothing to do with that. Not our problem.
Yeah.
Well, but then do I get a refund? You got to talk to Movie Pass, man. Like we cannot help you. We have nothing to do with that at all. It's not us. No. Well, they're like they're out of money and stuff. I'm like, well, and stop giving them money. Like, they're done. They're as far as I'm concerned, they're done. Like because I mean, there's for as much like people come in and they're like, well, I paid for it, but like the app isn't working. I'm like, okay, is it a Signal? No, I got Signal. Like, see, I'm on Facebook. I'm like, okay, well, we can't help you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I mean, I feel bad for that because, like, for example, I'm kind of in that same boat. Like, I know not to go to the theater and be like, well, hey, I know that there's nothing the theater can do. It's not their fault. But I check my email and it's all advertisements. And the last one that I got that was not an advertisement was from Mike, I guess the CEO or whatever, Mike Lowe or Mitch Lowe. Which he sounds like the guy who does like Pawn Stars, but that's not his name. But that sounds like someone who films Pawn Stars. Anyway, I'm reading an email and it's just basically like, to our members, today we're rolling out the new subscription plan, and it's all about that, but nothing about like, oh, by the way, I know you're an annual pass holder or whatever I guess I am.
Yeah.
I never got that email, and every website I saw that was like, if you're an annual pass holder, you'll get this email, and I never got it. And it's like, you have to cancel before the end of August. And it's like August 28th when we're recording this, so...
Yeah, you're coming up on it, man.
Yeah, I'll probably get it sometime in September.
More than likely, yeah.
But whatever, I'm not too concerned about it. I need to get the AMC one. There's a ton of movies I want to see. But this past week or so, I have been kind of just, recently I've been obsessed with Pokemon Go, and I'm still obsessed with it. I caught a, what is it, Oho, or what the legendary bird is?
Oh, because I forget how they pronounce it, because there's a letter in there that they pronounce. It's not actually in there. It's like how now or something.
I know. I always say ho-ho, and I know I'm wrong, but that's what I said as a kid because I'm an idiot. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Legendary bird of Johto, or Johto. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And it's been fun, man. That was the first major raid I've ever done. I went Monday because I had off on Monday. I went to Crane's Roost. It was at each raid, it tells you what level it is, right?
Yeah.
It tells you get there's like a little mark underneath the monster's face, and it's like a monster icon. It's not the actual thing. And this was full, I don't know, 5 or 6 or whatever. Basically meaning like you need a raid group to do this. No way you'll beat it unless you have at least like 6 or 7 people. And I saw, oh god, I pulled Pokemon Go. I'm walking around for about 30 minutes or so. I'm collecting all these Pokemon and doing right now. There is a Johto. There's so much going on with Pokemon Go right now. I feel like it used to be, by the way, we're doing a community day and it's on this date, and that's all there was going on. And then it was like, and this was recently. This was like a few months ago, and it was like, next month we'll have a community day on this day. Now there's events overlapping each other.
Okay.
We have a Johto event going on right now that you can do field research for. On top of that, this month on top of that, another field research thing is to catch what's the legendary cats?
Raikou, Suicune, and Entei.
Yes. So last month was the one who looks like a tiger.
Yeah, I forget what they all look like.
Hold on, let me pull them up. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to put you on the spot like that.
Raikou, I think the electric
Raikou.
one. Yeah.
Yes, Raikou was August. So I caught my Raikou. Entei is this month, September. Nice. And everyone assumes Suicune or whatnot is October.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So not only that is going on, so there's that. There's the Johto thing that ends at the end of like September 3rd or something like that, where basically you're getting quests and they're all Johto related. Every quest that you complete, you get a chance of collecting Johto Pokemon. The game is filled with them now, where it used to be kind of a mix where a lot of Gen 1, 2, and 3. Now it's mostly 2 for the last few weeks because it wants you to catch as many as you can. Because I think there's something going on in Tokyo right now with Pokemon Go.
Okay.
They've added like 7 more shinies to the game. They have, of course, I don't know if we talked about last time, they've added lucky Pokemon. So when you trade Pokemon in Pokemon Go, you have the opportunity. There's a chance it becomes lucky. You know it becomes lucky because when it's transferred to you, it has a little symbol next to it, and it makes it's a different animation behind it. What makes it lucky is it takes half the XP to grind up and half the candies.
Oh, yeah, you tell me about that, yeah.
Yes, yeah, so that's also going on right now. Also right now, there is the Mythic Quest for Celebi. So okay. I'm now trying to get that. I'm on the process right now where I have to catch a Pokemon 3 days in a row, and then the next step is basically like I have to walk with an Eevee during the day so it can evolve into whatever the evolution is for the daytime Eevee. Because in the Johto game, Eevee evolved into like what is it, Espeon, or basically evolved into a Pokemon during the day and evolved into a Pokemon if you evolved it at night.
Yeah, it was Espeon during the day, Umbreon at night, I think.
Exactly. Yep. So that's like you have to do all of that. There's like 8 stages for the Celebi quest. I won't be done with that probably until the end of September, and that's me doing the quest every day, whatever I have to do that day. Maybe shorter than that if I really hit hard. There's no crazy quest like there is with Mewtwo, where it's like, evolve a Magikarp for you have to collect 400 of them. Nothing crazy like that. The longest one that I saw was like spin a Pokestop for 7 days, so that will take a week.
Right.
Out of your time. So there's that going on. and it's starting next week. There's a whole nother thing going on where I forgot what the festival is they're doing and that's the crazy thing is it seems like they're doing a festival every other week someplace on the planet, and that affects the world.
Sure.
It affects what pops up in the world. It affects the shiny rate of those things. So it's kind of like if you're at the festival, I'm just going to make something up. You're at the festival, let's say they're doing it in Germany next week, and they're like, here are all these crazy Pokemon. Maybe we're going to throw Tauros in there so the people in Germany can catch Tauros, which is only in North America. And maybe there's shiny, I'm just going to make something up here, shiny Pikachu. Well, the world will get the shiny Pikachu, so they get and then maybe a whole bunch of whatever is showing up in Germany. A lot of will show up all over the world, so that we're getting a little bit of whatever that festival is. We're not getting the whole thing. We're not going to get all the special stuff they get, but we're getting just a little bit to make it exciting.
Nice. Yeah, it's a good idea. I like that.
It's so smart, and now it's not just like every 3 weeks. You have a reason to take your phone out and play this game every day, and you can find enjoyment out of it, which is really awesome. It was crazy. I was talking to someone at work. We were watching Trainer Tips, which is a YouTube channel, and like how the guy edits his videos is absolutely insane. It's beautiful the way he films stuff. And we were talking about like how the camera he uses to film it, and it was funny because maybe an hour before I showed him the video of Trainer Tips, he was saying, this is the video you want to use if you're going to do YouTube or any of this other stuff. It's a Sony A9500 or 6500.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure what people who love cameras and shit know what that is. And lo and behold, we look at the video and the guy shows like what he uses, and it's the same microphone he was telling me the guy uses. And when you watch this guy's channel, it's Trainer Tips. I'm giving him promotion for no reason. It looks so fucking professional. It looks so well done. You don't even have to like Pokemon Go. Some of the people we were sitting with don't play Pokemon Go, and they were in awe of what this guy was doing. His whole channel is he travels the world playing Pokemon Go. So like if he goes to a shrine in Japan or something to catch Pokemon, he'll talk about the people that live in that town and the history of that town and the shrines and what they mean to the people. At the same time, he's telling you about what's going on in Pokemon Go at the time, or he's catching Celebi or whatever, and he's showing it where it's in the AR mode. So it's a really cool idea. But anyway, sorry, getting so sidetracked. Pokemon Go, that's what I've been doing the last few weeks. And Warcraft. Oh my god. So
yeah, let's talk. Go for it.
Let's dissect this. Let's unbox this. I know you don't play WoW. What's your experience with Warcraft? What games have you played?
I have, like I said, I have like tried to play WoW so many times. Like WoW and Magic. Yeah. I have tried so many different times, and I'm just like, no, it's not for me. And with WoW, it sucks because the world is like the universe. So you reminded me last episode of Noble's channel.
Yes.
And I remember, I think we had talked about this like way back when the movie came out. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, I'm going to go subscribe so that I don't forget it. And then, forgot about it for like 3 years. And so when I went back, I was like, oh, this is the guy. I made the same mistake when I started watching those videos as I made like trying to outline the world for the book that I want to write one day. I started at the beginning.
Oh, wow.
And I don't mean the first video. I mean, like, he has a playlist of them chronologically, and it was like,
Oh,
yes, at the beginning of this creation, and it's on the one hand, it's really fascinating because you're learning about like all the old gods and everything, but on the other hand, it's like this has no bearing whatsoever on anything that's happening right now, really.
yes, yeah, no, Noble's channel, he has a video called like the history of Warcraft, and he does a good job of summing everything up in a few hours, or maybe an hour.
It's yeah, like one video is like an hour, and then he has it's like 400 videos where he
Yeah,
just breaks down every like
yes,
a couple of them are like, here's the cosmic mythos, and here's the creation, and here's
yeah,
and here's bios of each of these characters, and some of them are in two parts, and they're so ridiculously good. And his
mhm,
I don't know where he's from, but his accent really works for those videos.
it does. Yeah,
It's like it's something that's like so accidentally perfect.
yes. I think he's from Sweden.
That it does seem, it seems like somewhere out there,
He's
yeah.
from the Netherlands. Yes,
Ah,
so I was
okay. But
somewhat.
you were
He's Dutch.
it's in that area. But no, it's, and I
Yeah.
like I know a little of the mythology,
Mhm.
but not
Right.
not really much at all, hardly.
Yeah. I mean, I would always recommend. You've seen it where you get the history of Warcraft in an hour, and if you're curious about Warcraft, I would just watch the videos about the current faction leaders. Where on the Alliance side, you have the humans, the dwarfs, the night elves, and the Draenei, and a few others, and the Worgen, and their leaders and kind of who they are basically. And he's got tons of videos on just those. Same with the Horde, where you have the Forsaken, the Orcs, and the trolls and whatnot. I mean, it goes on the Blood Elves and whatnot. And this expansion, more than any of the other ones before, except for maybe like Lynch King, just dives so it does such a good job telling the story and pushing these characters forward, into making such interesting things. I mean, just kind of lay the landscape. You have the Alliance right now and the Horde. Um, they've just gone through a lot of shit. The Legion has always been this thing that, I mean, I don't. It's hard to kind of summarize the story of Warcraft in 2 minutes, but essentially, demons tricked the orcs into destroying their planet. The orcs found a portal to go to this place Azeroth, which has a lot of humans, and they do so. They go there. They're bloodthirsty, but then they finally break the bonds of that. And they fight humans, of course, but not all of them are bad. Some of them are good. And they decide to stay on this planet, this new planet that they found, and they decide to make a home there. And they're not bloodthirsty, but they basically team up with a few other races like the Tauren, which are like cow people. Um, uh, they team up with the Forsaken, which are the undead. They team up with the Trolls, which had used to have like an empire. Now they don't, and so on and so forth. So they have to share this world with these humans and night elves and whatnot. And so like there's been all this the last however many expansions. There's always been some outside threat that has threatened the planet, right? And now it's back to orc and human, or orcs versus humans, which was kind of the theme of the first two Warcraft games. Now it's back to Horde versus Alliance. One thing I'm kind of disappointed in is because we've been told here. Let me preface it by saying we were told that there's going to be a lot of gray in this, and it's not gray at all. There's a clear bad guy in this expansion. The Horde.
Yes, yeah, she went insane.
Yeah, so Sylvanas, who her story is super interesting on her own. She used to be an elf. Long story short, she was killed by a Lynch King, and she came back to life. What's awesome is like her tears are burned onto her face, so it's the most Hot Topic thing I've ever seen, and at the same time, so fucking cool. She's such a cool character, and I love the way she looks. Her style is just her character design is awesome. But yeah, she's kind of lost it. She's gone crazy, and she burns the world tree. Just basically, essentially, she burns the starting zone for Night Elves, which is the Alliance side, and she just goes absolutely crazy. And it's the rest of the Horde are very hesitant to follow her, especially the Tauren, which is crazy because the Tauren, they're kind of like, what would you say? Like, they're like nomad. They're about the earth, you know, and which it playing through this expansion, um, they're like, what the fuck? You know, they're very hesitant, but they're also like scared of her at this point. And the orcs, the Sourfang, did you see the short with Sourfang? And it's called War Dogs.
I saw the one that was called Old Soldier.
Old Soldiers, yes.
Yeah.
That's Sourfang. He's basically right now he's the leader of the orcs, pretty much. Thrall, which is like Green Jesus, he is off somewhere. Behind the scenes, Chris Metzen, long story short, some people know who he is listening. People who don't, he was like the face of Warcraft for the longest time. He was the face of Blizzard for the longest time, and he has since retired. He wanted to basically his kids now, and he wants to raise his children. And he needed to take a break for his mental health and a lot of other reasons. He has come back and voiced Varian Wrynn, which died in the last expansion, which I think is because Chris Metzen left. And Thrall is just kind of away right now. Chris Metzen has said 100% I will voice Thrall again. So people are expecting Thrall to make a return, and I imagine that's what's going to be happening towards the end of this, because the Horde needs a leader now, because I imagine Sylvanas, she's gone. Like, what she's done, there's war crimes in this universe, and I don't think anyone is going to be happy with her by the end of this. And it's crazy because her whole idea is that we are not scary enough. We are not ruthless enough. I will do whatever it takes to make sure that we survive, even though you guys won't. And it's I don't know. It's crazy. And then towards the end, playing through these expansions, let me talk about that for just a moment. The Horde side is a lot of troll stuff. You're going to Zandalari, and it's basically Black Panther. I'm telling you, they saw the Black Panther movie, and they were like, "Yeah, let's do that. Let's make that. Let's do that, because that's exactly what this is, with the spirits and all the other stuff, and this place that no one else has been to, and it's very much that. And there's a million Black Panther jokes in those quest lines, and it's awesome. It's such a cool experience. Mostly what I've been playing though is the Alliance side, and they lift that off of Game of Thrones. Do you know who Jaina Proudmoore is?
I know the name.
Okay,
that's
so
about it.
Basically, she's a mage, and for the Alliance, she was this happy-go-lucky mage for the longest time, and then she disappeared a few expansions ago. She left because her I forgot what town it was bombed by the Horde, and she basically was like, we need to kill them. They will never stop at what they're doing. And that was the thing. For the longest time, the Horde would always do something to antagonize them, but then back off. And then something would happen where some world-ending thing would come, and then we would, forget about it. Where Jaina was like, we need to stop this, and we need to be on the offensive instead of just the defensive. Anyway, in Warcraft 3, her family is the Proudmoores. They basically have an entire island. Basically, they rule over or whatnot. They're ship-going people. She ended up in Warcraft 3 getting her father killed because she sided with the Horde, saying that they're actually not crazy anymore. And anyway, she ended up getting her father killed. She makes a huge return in this game, and you get to kind of quest through her homeland, which is called Trias. I'm butchering it. But basically, you get to quest through her homeland, and it's made up of like I think it's 4 families. So it's kind of like how Game of Thrones has the different families,
Right.
and they're all kind of fighting for the throne. That's basically what's going on with her in these islands, and um, it's just such a cool storyline. It's one of the best. And there's some things that happen towards the end. I don't want to spoil for people who are playing the game, but there's some huge twists, some huge returns on both sides. They start messing with death and stuff like that. And there's one thing I do want to spoil. So, if you're listening and you have not finished Battle for Azeroth, skip ahead the next 5 minutes because I'm going to talk about it because it's got me so excited. So you're warned now. Skip ahead 5 minutes. I'm going to look at the clock now, and I'll make sure in 5 minutes I'm not talking about it anymore. Okay, so you skipped ahead. Great. Or you're still here, I mean. What's got me so excited about the Horde side is last expansion, Varian when the leader of the Alliance died. So did Vol'jin. He was the leader of the trolls. His group of trolls that joined the Horde were the Darkspear. They were the one tribe that did not bow to the Zandalari. Well, anyway, long story short, you see Zol's spirit in this. And the guy who well, there's a whole other story I'm not going to get into, but the guy in charge of death for the trolls, who kind of looks like what's that anime on Netflix now? Sorry, I'm getting so sidetracked.
Death Note?
Death Note, yeah, he looks like that thing. He makes a pact with the leader of the trolls now that the troll family bloodline is now tied to him, and every soul that they kill is now his, and now he like rules the kingdom of the trolls. At the very end of the expansion, you're told the quest is to bring the urn of Vol'jin to this death guy, right? He's like, I want to see Vol'jin. It's been years since I've seen him. Bring his or it's been a long time since I've talked to him. Bring me the urn of him. So you bring the urn of him. You put it down. Now you're thinking, oh my God, we're going to get a confrontation between this death guy who also made a pact with Vol'jin a few years back, and he's like, oh wait, Vol'jin's not in here. The boss is not going to be happy about this. And you realize that Vol'jin's ashes are not in this urn. Someone else has them. It has to be Sylvanas. And she is basically the Lynch King at this point. So many people and so many signs are pointing to the fact that they will probably resurrect Vol'jin as an undead, as a Forsaken. To me, that's so fucking mind-blowing that he's one of the most beloved leaders. For him to come back as a Forsaken leader, I can only imagine, I just want to see that. Okay, so anyway, it's been 5 minutes. I want to talk about real fast the races in the game. So basically, they've added all of these races that you can play as, and my theory is that the Forsaken you're going to have the ability to play as any race for the Forsaken. Because you've only been able to play humans at this point, Forsaken. I hope that by the end of this, you're able to play as Tauren, Troll, and whatnot. And I think that would all tie into the theory that everybody has about who I just said we talked about. So I'm sorry if you had to listen through all that and you don't play Warcraft, but it's got me so fucking excited because of how they're pushing the story along. This is just the beginning of Battle for Azeroth. We still have a year or two at this point. We still have 2 years basically of story to go. I can't wait to see where it goes. I can't wait to see what they do with these alliances. I hope that they make the alliance a little bad. I hope they make some of the people on the alliance questionable, like I don't know, like Greymane. I hope someone does something really fucked up because it can't just be the Horde that's really evil at this point. I want someone on the Alliance side to go bad. But anyway, so that's what I've been playing, man. I have had a blast. They have the allied races now, where every race now has like an allied race. Like now they have the Tauren, and they also have the High Mountain Tauren. They have the Lightforged Draenei. They have the Nightborn, which are basically Night Elves. They have the Void Elves. I don't know. I'm super excited, dude. Right now is not a better time to get into Warcraft or Pokemon Go.
Nice.
Yeah, man, I've been having a blast. So anyway, let's get into the news this week. What's been going on in the movies?
Well, box office wise, and I threw a number in here that I usually don't, because it's never really, it doesn't really change all that much. It's not surprising. But I did for Crazy Rich Asians. Made just short of 25 million this week, which puts it at like 76 and change total domestic. The number I put in here is the drop from the week before. With most movies, you see 20, 30, sometimes 40. If it's a big budget movie like with Star Wars or Infinity War, it's going to be closer to 50, just because of course it is. And everybody sees that and freaks out. Oh my god, it dropped 52%. Of course it did. It made 300 million its opening weekend. It's not going to make 150 million the second weekend. Chill out. It's going to be fine. Crazy Rich Asians, from its first week to its second week, dropped 6.4%.
Wow.
That's negligible. That's not too much more than a margin of error in polls. So I mean,
that's word of mouth. Just people getting out there going, "Hey, go watch this movie."
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's exciting, man.
And it does, like, I really like the fact that it's doing so well. Like, here's a movie that has really pretty much nothing to do with white people, if at all. Like, I don't know if there's even any in this, which would be fine by me. I don't care. But like that's my point. Is like this isn't about, this is about Crazy Rich Asians, and I'm very happy that people getting more representation is not something that's getting pigeonholed. That people can go to a movie and say, "Oh my god, they look like me." Because
representation matters, man.
Yes, it
really does.
Because you and I have seen that our entire lives, but most cultures haven't.
Right.
At least not out of Hollywood proper, not mainstream. Anyway. Yeah. So to see when they take a chance, quote unquote, like this, it pays off. It's not some catastrophic, oh my god, we tried to do something that was slightly outside the norm we've established for 100 years, and it didn't work. But of course it worked. Black Panther was the end of that argument.
Yep.
Really.
I agree.
Like, at the end of the day, there was no, like, well, what if we made a black superhero movie? Yeah, well, look at the Blade trilogy. Like, the quality of those movies fell off. It's like, that's not a really great example.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I mean, like, I just gushed over some of my favorite questing in a game that rips directly from that because of how fucking good it is.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree with you more, man.
But... So I'm happy for that. I haven't seen, like, the last movie that I saw, like, new-ish movie that I saw was Ant-Man and the Wasp. Yeah. I'll work on my English later. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's how long. So, because like somebody asked me, they're like, "Have you seen it yet?" I was like, "No, I haven't seen Crazy Rich Asians yet." They're like, "Oh man, well, what did you think of Mission Impossible?" Because I'm sure you saw that. Nope, haven't seen it either.
I heard that's good.
I've heard it's really good. Haven't seen it. What about the Meg? I'm sure you saw the Meg. Nope, haven't seen it. You work in a movie theater. How come you don't watch movies? Because I work 2 jobs, man. I don't have any freaking time.
Did you see what the next Sharknado is about?
Oh my god. No, this one's done. This is the last one. It's over.
It's called The Last Sharknado. It's About Time.
Yeah, okay. So we are talking about the right one. Yeah, where they time travel.
They time travel.
God.
And apparently Merlin is involved?
Of course he is.
I don't know anything about Sharknado, but I want to see that. Merlin, sharks versus dinosaurs? and castles, I'm in. I'm in. I don't care how ridiculous that sounds. I'm in.
Here was the thing. The first one was ridiculous in all the best ways.
Apparently, Merlin brings all the characters back for one last time.
I mean, he'd have to.
Oh my god.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, man. I'm fucking in. What if they replaced all the characters with wrestlers? Would you watch it?
No.
I think that would be fucking amazing.
No.
There we go. WWE needs to buy the rights to Sharknado. I would. Oh, God, come on, you wouldn't watch that?
I would not watch Sharknado SmackDown. I wouldn't do it.
Yes,
no.
but I think that would mix so well together with what the WWE films are doing. You don't think so?
No.
No? What's the WWE films have done lately that you've seen?
The last WWE film that I saw was The Marine.
Yeah, that was one of the first. That's when they took themselves super seriously.
They still kind of do.
No, they don't.
Dude, the last Leprechaun movie, first of all, was a WWE Films movie. Let's start there. And they genuinely tried to make it like an actual horror movie.
Okay, well then I'm wrong. But
yeah, like it wasn't like, because even the first Leprechaun movie in general understood this is a stupid idea.
And I just like the idea of wrestlers and sharks in the same movie together. You would not be entertained if you saw Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman in a movie about fighting sharks.
No.
Come on.
The closest I've ever gotten to that was a movie called Sand Sharks, which I watched with a couple of guys that I used to know down in Florida. When I lived in Sarasota, I went to college with a couple of guys who I did another podcast with back in the day, and we would hang out and watch. We would do the Netflix thing of like, what's an awful movie that we can watch and just do our own like mystery science bit for.
Yeah.
And we found one called Sand Sharks, and the reason we stopped on that one, because we're looking at just like all this other stuff that looks awful, and we got to Sand Sharks, and we're like, okay, this sounds really stupid, and we almost skipped it because we knew it was going to be just the wrong kind of bad. It wasn't going to be so bad it was good. It was just going to be bad. But under the cast, it said starring Brooke Hogan. So we said, yeah, we're going to watch this movie.
Yeah.
And it was worse than we expected.
Oh, I bet. That sounds amazing.
It's beyond awful.
I guess there was one last year called Sharknado 5 Global Swarming.
Yeah. Oh,
with
yeah.
With the tagline, Make America Bait Again.
Yeah.
That is so dumb. Oh my god. Oh man, this is so stupid. This is the stupidest thing I've ever seen, but that was at the same time.
Like, the first one was like, I get it. It's a schlocky, completely self-aware B-movie. Yeah. Cool. Like, I get that. But when you've made the sixth one, like, you have suddenly forgotten why you didn't take yourself seriously in the first place.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I just love that the new one is called It's About Time.
Yeah, they're not... The problem is they're not wrong.
It's called The Last Sharknado. It's About Time. That's just... Man, oh man, I want to be a fly in the room of these people, of the boardroom of them making this. Oh man,
you would probably die of smoke inhalation because I don't think flies can live in that much secondhand pot smoke.
I know, it's crazy, so crazy. All right, well let's see here. We got what do we got next here? Did we talk about the Meg doing a little? Well, actually, almost 13 million.
Yeah,
Happy Time Murders.
Yeah,
9.5.
In its first week, did not make $10 million. So.
It's about puppets and stuff. I didn't see it doing that good. I also heard it was the most meh movie.
I kind of figured that much.
Yeah, to me, it's something I'll catch on Netflix. Mission Impossible Fallout, again, 8 million. Mile 22, 6.3 million. What's coming out next week?
Next week we've got a Wednesday release, which is Operation Finale, which I don't know anything about. And then on the the 31st, we have Kin, which if you've seen the trailer for that, it's like the kid who finds like some kind of alien gun and like defends his family or something. I forget.
Okay.
It looks kind of interesting. It's like this. I hope it was made for a low budget because it's probably not going to do great. But it looks like a polished Netflix film.
Yeah.
Like like that next step up. Like, hey, Netflix made a halfway decent sci-fi movie, and then they polished it a little bit, so then it goes out in theaters. I don't know who actually made it, but that's just what it looks like to me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's see here. Well, let's get into the movie news, I guess. Let's jump into. We got some James Bond news.
Yeah, Danny Boyle is not going to be doing the next Bond film.
He got out?
Yeah, the old creative differences stand by.
Yeah. Yeah. So who do you think would lead the next or film the next one?
I don't know. This is a franchise I'm not really invested in. Like, I watch them when they come out because they're good, but I don't follow.
Does it have to be an English director?
I don't think so. I'm gonna go with that. I'm not sure.
What if they got James Gunn? I could never see him doing that, but wouldn't that be weird?
It would be weird.
It'd be weird. But he's hot right now, man. Like, apparently studios are ready just to look past the shitty things he said years ago, and be like, you know what, this guy's changed. He's not that dude anymore, clearly. Let's give him a chance because he just made two of the biggest movies on the planet. And Guardians 3 now is on indefinite hold, while they're looking for a new one. And I saw that what's his name? The guy who plays Drax is still just like what the fuck are you doing? Apparently he's out if they don't use his script. So
I think
be interesting.
They did say they wanted to use that script though.
Oh, they did. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I can't see them doing it without Drax. I mean, I don't know what they would do.
And I'll tell you who do you think they should get for Guardians?
I don't know. I mean, a lot of people said, what's his name? The guy who did Thor 3.
Yes, Taika Waititi. That's exactly where I was going to go.
Yeah, but I don't know if he would. That's too much like Thor. Even though we've talked about, I love the direction they've gone with Thor. Yeah. I'd actually love to see Thor in the Guardians.
And here's how you do it.
And here is how you do it, and I could see them doing that, and it makes sense. And yes, I agree. That would be the one guy that I would go and get. But man, that's gonna be a messy. It's a messy breakup.
Yeah, it's not gonna be like that. Like the production on that film is gonna be the word we're gonna get is probably it. And here's the thing: it's gonna depend on the director. It's gonna depend on their attitude because this is a set. Like this movie in particular, this little sub franchise in the MCU has this really weird, tight knit group.
Oh yeah,
and they are going to look at an outsider, and they're going to be professional, because you don't get to play this kind of high level without being professional.
Right.
But if the director comes in and as we have seen with other directors and other things in the past, and come in and say, yes, I'm the captain of this ship, so we're going to completely change everything, that's not going to work. And there will be a mutiny. But if you get a director, that's why I think Taika could work, because they would understand he's going to come in, he's going to be weird and off the wall, but he also knows what the hell he's doing.
Right. Yeah. And he knows, the Marvel, when I say universe, I mean like, he's been messing around inside of the galaxy stuff of the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
And that's perfect. It kind of fits in right in the same stuff. So I agree with you 100%. And that's why that movie worked so well. They were so on board with what he wanted to do with Thor that, Chris Hemsworth have talked about, He's openly said, I didn't want to do what we did for 1 and 2 for 3. There was no way that was going to work, and he wanted someone to do something different, and he was super thrilled with what he did with Thor. So yeah, I agree with you. I think that's the obvious choice, especially if they're not going to do a Thor 4. It makes sense that he jumps onto this franchise and kind of runs with it. Yeah. And I'm sure he would treat what James Gunn has done with a ton of respect.
Absolutely.
Because they seem like they're kind of cut from the same kind of cloth with their humor and stuff like that. So that's the only person that I could see them doing it where it works and they're very just cool with it. It's man, it sucks because Guardians was that thing where it's like that easily became my favorite of the Marvel franchises, and it was just no one expected it to do shit. We talked about it, but that's it. Like I know you were like, oh man, that's going to be something special. I was awesome with it too. To me, it looked like Star Wars, but Marvel Universe. And fucking A, did it not knock it out of the park.
Yeah.
In every way, and it got people talking about characters that just are so just at the bottom of Marvel's list that you would never expect to be made, and now they're household names. There's not a kid that doesn't know who Rocket Raccoon is.
Or Groot. Groot is a walking tree that says 3 words. That's it. How in the hell do you make that interesting? And they did. They found a way to make it work. Like, I don't know.
And they made it. They evolved it with Baby Groot and stuff like that. So
yeah.
It's gonna be interesting to see what they do. So probably won't get that for another few years. I imagine it will still be in phase 4, but just probably way towards the back end of it. But yeah, so that's on hold right now. So basically what they did is they released the actors and the film crew to go work on other projects until they get their shit together.
Yeah, which is good for them. Like that's that's smart.
And they're still in contract. They still got to make it, but it will not be right now. So they can go and be creative somewhere in another space. But don't worry, we're gonna get some of them next year with Avengers 4. Some of them. I don't know of all of them. But we're gonna get some of them. But yeah, we got some interesting Star Wars news.
Yeah. Half of this was curious, and half of this was just holy crap.
I gotta be honest, I don't like either one of them for it.
Tough. Like you're kind of right on one, you're dead wrong on half.
I don't like seeing people that I've seen in other things so obviously in films like this. The only one that makes sense to me or that I wasn't bothered with was Samuel L. Jackson. It didn't bother me, or Mace Windu. Those two were the only two big ones, but everyone else stands out that's super famous. And to me, it's just I'm not going to be able to see these characters and not think of the other characters they played. Does that make sense?
I get it, but that's
I
dumb.
like my Luke Skywalker as Mark Hamill because that was the first thing I saw him. I like Rey. I like Finn. These are some of the first movies I saw these actors as. And I didn't see them. I might have saw them in other things, but I never okay, that's that person. Oscar, what's his face in
Oscar Isaacs. Yeah, he's been in 12 different things within the same year. It's insane.
Right, but Star Wars was that's what I see him now as.
Yeah, that's just your problem.
These two other characters, like Dominic especially, first he was a Hobbit for a while, and then he was on Lost as Charlie, and I'll never get that out of my head. So it's I don't know. I hope they're in full makeup or something. But yeah, no, that's my thoughts. I know we have different ideas on this, but I'm curious to what you think about it.
Dominic's a good choice. I think he's definitely going to be an alien.
Yeah.
I really think he's going to be somebody in costume or prosthetics or makeup or something. Yeah. He's not just going to be a human or even maybe a humanoid type thing. I think he's way more suited to being because he's going to be a little outlandish and a little outrageous, and I think that works. I see that more in an alien. I mean, yeah, it could totally work as a person, but I just think I think he's more suited to being an alien than the other guy who actually played an alien.
I was gonna say Matt Smith
yeah,
could totally be an alien.
Oh yeah, totally an alien. But
because he's not. He has this. How do I put this? He's not Matt Damon. You know what I mean? He kind of has a goofy look to him, a charming goofy look, if that makes sense.
True.
Yeah, I could totally see him as an alien too.
Yeah, but I think that if it comes down to it, I think Matt gets the more grave role.
Mm-hmm.
Matt can do serious, I think, a lot better than Dominic. I think he can pull it
I
off
agree.
better. So
yeah.
I think Matt's gonna be more of like some kind of general or commander type figure, maybe somewhere.
That's right. Whenever these British people get cast, it's like, oh, they're gonna be in the New Order.
Well, or maybe in the Resistance, like he's gonna be commanding in the new rebellion that they're building. Like I think he, especially with him in the Crown and the way that he's grown with that, I just kind of see him more as being someone who's more officer material.
No, I agree. I completely agree. Yeah, he's fantastic in the Crown. But I don't know, like I'm kind of contradicting myself because I can think back of like major roles played by other actors, but I don't know, like Patrick Stewart, 2 big roles in his life. Well, he's a million roles, but 2 of the big ones that stand out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just that stuff. Well, I don't know. I'm way more of a fan of actors I don't know than actors I do. So this is interesting. This is super interesting. Of course, J.J. Abrams put these guys in the film, especially Dominic. Like puts him in everything, it seems.
Well, and Dominic had a fun turn on Chuck not too long. I think after he was on Lost, or at the same time he was on Lost, maybe.
I think he's been in every major nerd thing except Harry Potter.
Pretty much. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, he's been in X-Men, he's been in Lord of the Rings, he's been in Star Wars now, he's been in Lost. Like, he's done the whole gamut.
Pretty much.
Yep. We got some Joker news.
Yeah. So, Alec Baldwin is going to play Thomas Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason Alec Baldwin is going to play Thomas Wayne is because his SNL Donald Trump parody is exactly the kind of person that they're going for Thomas Wayne in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's take a step back, and I know that I'm kind of breaking my rule of let's not get overly attached to the source material, but there is a difference between changing up something like this is a big swing. Thomas Wayne as a character built a philanthropic enterprise based on the fact that he was a doctor, not Biff Tannen.
Right.
Which is what they're going for. Like, that's what they're aiming for. And here's the thing with this. Whichever version of continuity they use, whether they do the comics continuity of having Joe Chill be the one who guns down the parents, or if they do the Batman 89 film continuity where the Joker killed the parents, I think if they stick with that, if they do let's say for argument's sake they do the Joker continuity, and he's the one that kills Batman's parents, it's going to make Batman look a lot more like Talia al Ghul, in terms of, I'm going to grow up and avenge my father, and you're going to want to root for the Joker. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, this is just like this movie can step in front of a bus now. Like I'm sorry.
Well?
I know I am the don't get too attached to the source material guy, but you are like, I'm sorry, if Batman, because the whole thing is Bruce Wayne grew up with...
Hold on. All we know is that Alec Baldwin was cast as Thomas Wayne, and he's described as a cheesy and tanned businessman like an 80s Trump.
A cheesy and tanned businessman is exactly the opposite of what Thomas Wayne was. And this is my argument for why that is bad. Not just changing canon, but think of what kind of a spoiled, rotten brat Bruce Wayne would have grown up as.
But I mean, I actually really like the idea about
Ugh.
changing the perspective. Is that is how the Joker views him, even though that's not what that character is. Now imagine,
That's an interesting point.
yes, that I mean, because to Thomas, you know, I'm sorry, not Thomas, but to Bruce, that's not what his father is. But I imagine that's who his father was to a lot of people who did not have money. They might have seen that.
That's a very interesting point.
Yeah.
I had not considered that.
Yeah. Because I mean, they just did a comic recently called The White Knight or something like that, and it's about like it's a weird take on the Joker, which I don't think they're doing it. I don't think they're going anywhere near this. But I like I said, I agree with you. I think it's a weird. First of all, it's weird they're doing a Joker movie. No one wants to see a Joker movie, but I'm sure everyone's going to go see it. The Joker, you're not supposed to feel for. He's not supposed to be a character that you're like, oh, I understand why he's doing this. But if that's what they're going for, is that you should see it from his perspective on why he would go after the Wayne family or Batman or whatever, or want chaos. I could see that being the reason, especially if this is Scorsese doing it. Man, I'm in for so many reasons that him being described as that. I hope that they can think of a million ways to make that work. But man, I don't know. Did you see the Oscar Isaac has met with Warner Brothers for a role in the Batman?
I swear to God, if he's playing the Joker.
No, I don't think he'll be the Joker.
I don't even, because he might. Like they would do that. There's your third.
People think he's going to be Batman. I mean, Ben Affleck's in rehab right now.
Oh my God, can you imagine the internet if we had a Hispanic Batman?
They love it. Have you seen Boss Logic's whatever of him as Batman? It looks great.
I haven't seen it, but I mean, I would be all for it. But could you imagine? I mean, we had an Asian in Star Wars, and like people exploded. Could you imagine just like the monumental outcry if, oh my God, there was a not white Batman?
Oh no, I agree.
I would love it. I think it's a great choice because I think he's a hell of an actor, and I don't care if he's purple. Right. But just it would be worth like the backlash would be extraordinary.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree.
I think it would be worth it just for the backlash, to be honest with you. But
right, to see people get their fucking panties in a wad.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I agree. I love all the things that I've seen of like him as the fan art. Boss Logic does amazing stuff.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and his little sketch, I just sent it to you, of what he would look like as Batman is fucking perfect. And he looks like an older version of the kid who plays him in Gotham. So I don't know. I would totally be on that. Speaking of people getting their panties in a wad for shit like that, did you see who's in talk to play Ariel for The Little Mermaid?
Yes, but remind me.
What is it? Zendaya?
Zendaya, I think. Yeah.
Butchering her name. But the girl from Spider-Man, from Homecoming,
and The Greatest Showman, and just my favorite people were the people who were arguing that they were perfectly fine with the idea of mermaids, but they had to be white mermaids. Like
right.
they were like, no, don't you understand? Creatures that live under the sea like that are part humanoid would not actually be able to the melanin content would be so low they would just biologically be white, so it wouldn't make sense. Like, you're talking about freaking mermaids,
right? Right.
Are you kidding me with this right now?
Right, Zendaya taking roles from white women with red hair for a few years now.
Oh my God, that's right. That's just beautiful.
Oh yeah, Boss Logic did a mock-up of her, and it actually looks pretty cool. He gave her red hair too, and she looks awesome. She looks fucking dope as hell as Ariel. I could totally see that.
Oh man,
she's got a great smile. But yeah.
Oh man.
Oh,
I love that. That's
oh
fantastic.
wow. The Boss Logic did a thing of Batman Beyond with Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne, and he looks fucking perfect.
Oh, now that would be something.
Oh yeah, imagine that. It would be set in the old Batman universe,
Yeah,
and Bruce Wayne is older. Oh man, that would be fucking. And there you go. That's the way you tie all the Batman movies together.
that's it, man.
Timey wimey.
Look, hey man, I'll tell you what, that's not the worst idea in the world.
No, it's not. No, it's absolutely not. Um, but where were we? Um,
Uh,
we got some Detective Pikachu news. Norse style neon logo was released for the film. Did you see this?
I did. I like the logo. I
Yeah.
still don't want the film, but the logo
I,
was a nice touch.
and I've talked about this before, and I've kind of walked back a little bit. I do, yeah. I like how it says Pokemon as like, oh, this isn't the only film we're gonna get. Did you notice that? How
I
it
did,
says?
yeah.
Yeah. I kind of liked that. That gave me a little bit of hope. Like, oh, okay, well they're gonna test this out. This is gonna be one of the movies, and we might get something else later. So, I don't know. I still don't like the idea of it. I want a serious Pokemon movie, and I don't mean serious as in like it's got to be dark and gritty, but like I want a story kind of like how the original game was. Um, I want a grand Pokemon movie. I don't want Roger Rabbit Pokemon.
Yeah, and I heard like when they did the panel on it, I think it was the director that was up there talking about, we didn't want to do something from the main series just because it's been done everywhere else. So we wanted to
Right.
tell a different story. And on one hand I understand that and I respect
Mhm.
that, and on the other
Right.
hand I think this is not I'm sorry, but the whole thing of like it's been done everywhere else. All right, we're going to do a Transformers movie about the Insecticons because it's
Hmm.
been done everywhere else.
Right.
Like I
Yeah.
don't
We're
like
we're about to do Avengers movie, which has been done for 60 years or however long it's been that we've seen Thanos. You know what I mean? Like it,
yeah.
that kind of thing. I don't know if I mean, it's like I get what you're doing. I understand, and in a sense, it makes sense. It's for kids first of all, and kids are going to eat that up. And it's something that you don't have to be super knowledgeable about Pokemon or care about the lore to get into, because it's like here's a fun adventure movie or a fun movie with Ryan Reynolds and Pikachu. Like that's what it's gonna be. So I don't know. I'm annoyed because if it does bomb, then this is gonna be their go. Well, we can't do a live action Pokemon movie. That's it. They're gonna use that as an example.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see. Um, we got some TV news. We saw the first trailer for Star Wars Resistance. What'd you think of it?
I liked it.
Yeah,
I
I
liked
like
it.
the animation style.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm fucking pumped. This app can't come out fast enough.
I know, right?
Yeah, for real. Oh my god. What is this Treadstone series?
Okay, because Treadstone was the original name of the project that Jason Bourne was involved in. Like that was the thing that made him him, and like
Oh,
all the
that's
other CIA guys that they turned into Jason Bournes. That was Project Treadstone.
gotcha.
So USA, which is like we need to make a series out of every movie that's not around anymore that we can get our hands on. It's like we're gonna do it's a spy show.
Okay,
That's the bottom line. It's gonna be a spy show.
cool, 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 cool. Um, let's see here. Oh, we got some Nickelodeon news.
Yeah, so there's like an online video service that's kind of Netflixy. It's called VRV.
Mm-hmm.
And they basically they kind of bundle a bunch of smaller channels together, pretty much.
Okay.
Um, they've added a new channel. It's called Nick Splat, and
Mm-hmm.
it's old Nickelodeon stuff.
Okay.
So Nickelodeon has like this is how Nickelodeon is doing their version of a Netflix or a CBS All Access or something like that.
Okay.
What they're doing, it's $5.99 a month, or it's part of VRV's $10 a month premium pass, whatever they call it. Um, and it's going to be a rotating kind of stock. It's not going to have all of everything all the time.
Okay.
So I mean,
So it's kind of like the DC Nation app, where the comics, they don't have all the DC comics all the time, but they'll have like some major ones.
Yeah.
And rotate it.
Yeah, pretty much. There's and like what they have now is and what like let's and it's what they have now is a good list. I'll give you a rundown of what they have now, and it's not every episode though. That's the only thing that's kind of a bummer, is that it's only like a season, maybe 2 of some of these shows that ran for longer. Angry Beavers, Wild Thornberries, Clarissa Explains It All, Keenan and Kel, All That, Doug, Rocco's Modern Life, Cat Dog, Are You Afraid of the Dark? And that's just some of what's on there. There is a decent selection. So I don't know, it's worth checking out, I think.
You know what I forgot to mention at the beginning of the show?
What's up?
Did you see what Twitch is doing right now?
Did they start their Pokemon marathon?
They did.
God, yes, because they're doing all of it. That's right.
They're doing all of it, and they're making it interactive, which is fucking neat as hell.
How are they doing that?
Yeah, so if you go to twitch.tv/Twitch Presents, it's the main page of Twitch. They're streaming every episode of Pokemon.
Yeah.
And at nighttime, they're doing the movies.
Oh, nice. I wondered how they were going to work them in.
Yeah, so it's like, I think they're doing the first season right now, and it's like 10 a.m., and it's almost like a TV schedule. At 10 a.m. they start. And then in the evening, they're doing the movies. They're doing like one movie a night. And what's interesting is the overlay of it. If you turn it on, it's a little Pokeball on the left-hand corner of the video. Every once in a while, a badge will pop up, and it will have a Pokemon. And I actually just did it because I brought it up to look at the website to see what is going on, and I just got a Beedrill. And basically, you catch these badges, and so I don't know what you do with them. I don't know if I can like pin them on anything or use it as like a logo or something like that. But it is badges, and so you're collecting them, and throughout the episode, it will randomly pop up on your screen, and you hold down, you click it and hold it down until it does a full circle, and then you let go, and it just, I don't know, it gives you information about the Pokemon, and then by the however long this takes for the marathon, you can see how much Pokemon you've collected throughout the thing. There's a leaderboard, there's achievements, all sorts of shit, and you collect points and whatnot. So it's a really cool interactive way to you can kind of see what you and your friends have, and enjoy Pokemon with 50,000 people at the same time. Right now it is 12 a.m. just hit midnight on the East Coast, and there is 30,000 people watching it.
What's playing right now?
Right now is season 1. They're doing episode between 14 and 26.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like Vileplume and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and so the Pokemon that you catch are kind of related to that episode.
Sure, makes sense.
Oh yeah, so if you are a fan of the original series, the original season 1, it's got Brock, it's got Misty, it's got all that stuff. So it's super nostalgic. And Twitch chat can be toxic. It can.
I just turn it off.
It can be such a toxic place. But when you're watching something like this, it's funny to see immediately all of the sad emojis and oh my god, they're hurting it with Pikachu. He's spinning the wheel for the electricity, and there's moments of brilliance for Twitch chat, and I find that it's usually during stuff like this, that everyone can get behind Pokemon and everyone can love it, and during the sad moments, all the sad faces, and during the moments where Ash gets really excited, you see all the different faces yeah, get him. It's fun. It's one of the rare times that Twitch chat is not a crazy toxic place. I'm sure there are a lot of toxic people on it, but for the most part during this, it's been pretty funny. Just seeing everyone's reaction to it, but yeah, it's I don't know, it's such an interesting thing. I hope they do more of these. I hope they do it for Power Rangers and a bunch of other things. It's kind of cool to watch along with a bunch of people. What I think would be cool, and I'm not sure if they do it, but I hope like other channels can watch along with you, so like they can stream what's being shown. I wish they would do that. Where like there's a guy I follow called Pokemon Cast because it's a podcast I listen to. The podcast is called It's Super Effective, right?
Okay.
So his Twitch channel is PKMN Cast. And so he always does Pokemon related stuff. It would be cool if you could watch the show with him and then him like make commentary and interact with the chat while everyone's watching the show, because it's like a watch along. You're watching with you're watching with your friends, you're watching with this podcaster who you listen to week in and week out. I think it'd be cool if they did stuff like that, where it's a way for you to interact with your audience while you're watching this thing that you're all in love with.
Yeah.
But I don't think they can do that yet. I only think that it can be the Twitch that streams the Pokemon live thing, right? Probably legal rights. They probably have some deal with the company to air that. You know what I mean? I'm sure of it. But I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. It's this weird thing that Twitch is doing right now, and I hope they do more of it.
Yeah, I think that's why it reminds me of. You remember the Netflix party mode for Xbox back in the day?
Yes. Yeah.
And that was. I think that's the same kind of thing of like, this was an awesome thing, and then I think they got in trouble over it or something.
Yeah.
So like they stopped doing that like right when I got my first 360. I was like, because like that was part of why I got it, was like I could sit and watch it with people I knew, and I was like, and we could be stupid and watch this, and then they're like, yeah, we're getting rid of this. And I was like, well, at least I got the Star Wars theme going.
Right. There you go. There you go. Have you seen the 500,000th PlayStation Anniversary Edition, whatever?
Sold out.
Yeah. The fucking see-through translucent blue. It's sharp.
It's good. It's gorgeous. I'll tell you what, though. That Spider-Man 4 Pro.
Yeah.
That Spider-Man PS4 Pro is just gorgeous. Oh my god.
That's the one I pre-ordered.
I hate you.
Did I say that on the podcast? I sold my PlayStation.
Yeah, you said that last week, and you weren't sure if you were gonna get this one or not. I hate you.
Yeah, I pre-ordered the Spider-Man when I put $50 down at GameStop. So it'll come, I think, soon, like next week, right?
It's next Friday. Yeah.
Yeah. So bye paycheck.
Yeah. Well.
But yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, that cherry red.
It's gorgeous. It really is nice.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, I think that's it for. Oh, no. Let's get into some games. We got the Xbox Game for Gold this month. We got Prison Architect, September 1st through 30th. Livestock, September 16th through October 15th.
Live Lock.
Live Lock. Sorry, I'm too far away from the monitor.
This is not a Goat Simulator spinoff here.
I would play that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I was messing around with my friend's kids. They were showing me Goat Simulator, and I've heard of Goat Simulator. I've seen it before, but I love to play dumb with kids because I love hearing them explain things. And I'll tease them too. I'll be like, so what's this Goat Simulator about? Because they were showing me it. They're like, you have to see it, Adam. It's so cool. Oh my god. And I'm like, so you simulate being a goat? No, like, oh my god, like you jump off of this thing. And I'm like, well, this isn't a Goat Simulator because you would just be sitting around eating grass all day. Adam, it's so much cooler than that. It's fun to hear them gush over this kind of stuff and to get so excited to show me it and how silly it is, and they just laugh at the dumbest things of it hitting the side of a truck and all this. So it was fun to see them like just geek out over such a silly thing. But yeah, I wish there was a livestock. A livestock. Yeah. So anyway, Lego Star Wars 3, the Clone Wars, September 1st through 15th. I didn't play that one. I played the other two.
Yeah.
Sega Vintage Collection Monster World, September 16th through the 30th. But yeah, so that is the Xbox games for gold.
Yeah, and I'm not really excited about anything on that list because I was never a Lego games fan. Like, I mean, they're neat, they're fun. If people like them, more power to you. They were just never my thing.
They're dumb. They're games that you just, and I mean dumb in a good way.
Yeah.
They're mindless. Just like, especially if you have kids, this is the kind of game that you can sit down with your child and fucking enjoy the hell out of it. Especially the superhero one. There were so many just characters. Just especially the DC ones. They just were all over the place with classic characters, just abstract characters and references and little things to unpack that as a DC fan you're like, oh my god, I remember this guy. But your kid, it's like, wow, that's cool. I just zapped over the room. It's just
yeah,
amazing family games, but also just dumb fun games to just waste your time with. And if you can pick them up for free or for $10 or something, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, totally. And the Star Wars one was pretty fun.
Yeah, and I mean that's the target market.
Yes.
These are absolutely kids' video games.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I used to be jaded, like, can we get a real Star Wars game when I saw shit like that? Because it would get fucking annoying when that shit came out. But it makes sense. Those things sell. Kids eat that shit up, and all people would complain about a regular Star Wars game anyway. So I don't know. I'm so looking forward to a regular one. But anyway, we got some Diablo 3 news. Internal Collection version is coming out on the Switch. It's not rumored anymore. Blizzard came out and showed it. It will collect the Reaper of Souls and Rise of the Necromancer series.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this because I want more Blizzard games on the Switch. We'll never get a World of Warcraft or anything like that on the Switch, but I would love to see Heroes of the Storm. I would love to see Hearthstone. Oh my god.
Hearthstone on the Switch just makes sense. It just does.
Sense. Make it touchscreen, make it where you can use the controllers, whatever. Put Hearthstone on the Switch. We do know that Blizzard is working on another Warcraft mobile game. We don't know what it's about. People are assuming it's going to be some sort of RTS, but probably in the style of where they can get a lot of money. But man, I just want more Blizzard games on the Switch. They're polished. It looks great. Like, I thought it was going to chug or look. I want to see it live because what they show us and what reality is maybe two different things. But Blizzard usually is pretty good at polishing a game before they drop it. So, but yeah, Hearthstone just needs to be on there. That needs to be on there by Christmas time. And who knows? We might get Heroes of the Storm. We might get Overwatch somehow. But yeah, I would love to see that. And who knows? Who knows what the future, what they could do with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see here. What else do we got? We got some Walking Dead news. The entire Telltale series is coming to the Switch, beginning with the complete first season, and it will include upgraded versions of the first season and 400 days DLC. Season 2 and A New Frontier is coming later this year.
Yep.
Sorry, I had to clear my throat there. Xbox Game Pass, Halo, MCC coming to service on September 1st.
Yeah, they've been finally talking about because they teased the Master Chief Collection at E3, and they were like, and it's coming to Game Pass. And everybody was like, when? And we were like, we'll let you know. And we were like, boo. So,
oh yeah.
So September 1st, the Master Chief Collection. So all the Halo games will now be on Game Pass.
Oh yeah. And have you seen the Xbox All Access? Have we talked about that?
I have heard about this. Explain this to me.
Okay, so Xbox All Access is, to me, it sounds too good to be true.
Yeah, well.
Yes. So there's two tiers of Xbox All Access. All Access for $21.99 a month. Subscribers will get an Xbox One S in addition to Xbox Live Gold and Game Pass for $21.99 a month. For $34.99 a month, subscribers will get an Xbox One X in addition to the Xbox Live Gold and Game Pass. You sign up for a 2-year contract. So the total cost for the 2-year subscription to an Xbox All Access comes out to $528 for the Xbox One S and $840 for an Xbox One X. At current prices, those services and hardware purchased separately would cost about $660 and $860. So you're actually saving some money if you did it through the 2-year plan.
That's madness.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I apologize. Those services and hardware purchased separately would cost $660. Okay, so yeah, you would be paying about $100 more for the S. And you would only be paying $20 more for the X if you go through the pay program.
Yeah.
So that's not that bad. Paying $20 extra for 2 years, that's not like you're going to like rent a week, rent a center place where you're paying $2,000 more for the thing than you should. You know what I mean? It's
right.
like $20 more for an X, and you just have to sign up for 2 years. That's awesome. The thing is, most people would rather just save their money and pay it outright and be done with it for this kind of electronic. But for people that like don't and that can't do that and would rather just pay monthly, fucking why not?
Well, here's the thing. What was the price per month for the X?
For the X, it's $34.99.
Okay, Game Pass and Xbox Live are each $10 a month, right?
Yes. Now,
So
I don't think this comes with Xbox Live.
Yeah, Live Gold.
Oh yeah, Live Gold. In
Yeah.
addition to Live Gold and Game Pass. Yeah, so
you're basically renting a 1X for $17 a month.
Yes.
It won't catch on. This is watch this be me making another bold Avatar prediction. It's not gonna work, but it's an interesting idea.
I think it's super interesting. I think if they would have did this at the beginning of the game life cycle, people would have ate this up. But guys, we're getting a new console probably next year, or it's at least going to be announced. You're doing this at the very end of your console's life cycle. So to me, this is a way of them just like, hey, let's try everything, and I hats off to them. Like this is perfect for so many people. I would eat this shit up. I can't do that right now, but I could imagine if you're in college and you have a certain budget, you would get this over dropping $400 on a PlayStation.
Yeah,
you're like, sign me up. $21.99. I have that in my pocket.
That's what's mental. For the 1S, it's only you're spending an extra $2 a month.
Yeah.
You're renting you're like, okay, the service is $10, Game Pass is $10.
Well, it's not two. It's $21.99.
No, but I'm saying
$34.99.
Right. No, but I'm saying like for the 1S, it's $22 a month, right?
Yeah.
For that plan. So the Game Pass is $10 a month. Gold is $10 a month.
Right.
So that's $20 a month. So for an extra $2, hell, we'll let you rent the system.
Yeah.
That's
you're
insane.
Right. You're right.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, most people aren't going to need a 1X because not everybody has the kind of TV. Like, would I want to have one? Sure. Would I want to have a PS4 Pro? Sure. My TV is not 4K. I don't need one.
Yep. Yeah, and so apparently they updated their site. Interested parties will have to walk into a retail location in order to sign up for the program, and only from August 27th through December 31st while supplies last. So if this is something that sounds right up your alley, you need to go sign up for it. I don't know if there's a credit. Oh wait, hold on.
There probably
is a credit check. The FAQ confirms that customers must pass a credit check to determine their eligibility for Xbox All Access. So
Fair.
I could see that not hitting some people, especially college kids or something. The program requires a Dell Preferred account and a Dell Financial Services, not Microsoft, which handles the financing. So essentially, you're going to be financing it. So if you got okay credit, I'm sure you can get this. But yeah, it says as long as you make all 24 monthly payments over the 2-year term of contract, paying off the balance in full, they won't have to pay any of the interest on the financing, and it'll be yours to own.
Okay. See, I was not under the impression that this was like buying a car.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
Well, now that changes everything.
Yeah, so you're essentially financing it, and then you're owning it at the end.
Yeah.
Instead of just dropping $400, $500 on it.
And you're paying
at once.
Wow, hang on. So wait a minute. So for what? So for 24, you're buying an Xbox One. Okay, stop. Hold on. I still can't wrap my mind around this math because the One S we just talked about. The One S is basically a $2 upcharge on the live and Gold and Game Pass are $20 bundled, and it's $22 a month. So you're spending $2. You're buying a One S for $48.
Mm-hmm.
I am selling my Xbox tomorrow.
Yeah, it says the total cost for a 2-year subscription to Xbox All Access comes out to about $528 for an Xbox One S and $840 for an Xbox One X.
Yeah, but hang on. Here's the math that I want to do. Okay, hang on, let me get my calculator up because I want to do I want to figure out this. Okay, this is messing with me.
So if you do it all separately, it's $660 and $860.
Right,
so you're saving a lot. You're saving money with the S.
Right. Okay, hang on. Give me the $528 for the S over 2 years altogether.
Yeah. So $660.
What? Yeah. So just for the S.
So you're saving over $100.
You're saving a hell of a lot more than that.
Well, no. $528 is what you would pay for it, and it would be $660 if you separated everything. So if you bought the Xbox One S, if you bought the
2 years
Xbox
of everything,
Live and the All Access, it would be $660. But you're only paying $528 if you do what they do.
Okay, they're valuing a One S at $180 by that math.
Okay. I'll send you the link so you can see.
No. I hear you. I hear what you're saying. Like, they're saying if you did this separately, it would cost you $660. Right? For the One S. Yes. I'm just talking about the S. It would cost you $660, right?
Yeah.
Okay. 2 years, 24 months of Gold and Game Pass together is $480.
Well, how much is Xbox Gold for a year? It's $30, right?
No, hell no.
Sure it is.
No, it's more than that.
No. It's like $30 or $40.
Then I'm getting ripped off paying $10 a month.
Well, you're paying monthly. You're supposed to pay yearly. It's a lot cheaper.
No, because PS Plus is like that too. Like it's.
Well, yeah, it's so much cheaper if you pay yearly. PlayStation Plus, I got for $40 because I bought it for a year.
All right.
If you do it monthly, you're paying like $10 or $15 a month.
Okay, so I do mine monthly.
You're paying way more than you have to.
All right, hang on.
It's at least it's $60 or $50 for the 12 for 12 months of Xbox Live from the Microsoft Store. It's $60.
It's $60. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So, but Game Pass is $10 a month, and I don't think you can do more than.
Okay.
I think
for 2 years of Xbox Live, it's $120.
Okay, I'll do that math. $120 for 2 years of Xbox Live.
And what's the Xbox? It's called all. What is it? What's the
Game Pass is another.
Game Pass. 12 months. Let's see.
Yeah, if you can.
That is.
Because I didn't think you could. I thought you could only do that monthly, but I may well be.
$60. Same thing.
So $240.
Yes. So $240
for both of them together. It's $240.
Yes.
And $660. So they're valuing. Whoa. They're saying doing it separately would be $660 for an S.
Mm-hmm.
That means
it'd be $420 for your S.
That's insane.
That's the price of the S.
An Xbox One S right now is $420. Are you serious? I don't think so.
Oh, isn't PlayStation $400?
The Pro, maybe. I'm talking about the S, man, not the X.
No, not the Pro. Pro's $400. The S. Oh yeah, you're right. The S. You're right. The Pro is $400.
Right.
The regular one's probably $300.
Two. I would think by this point, $250 maybe.
I just sold my PlayStation for $150 to GameStop.
All right, what's the price of an Xbox One S?
Good. Let's see. Let's take a look here. See, this is good. Let me take a look here.
I'm saying, I want to do this. I want to know.
Yeah. Oh no, this is all the whatever store.
Hold on. No, just GameStop it.
GameStop.
What are they? What's the MSRP for an Xbox One S?
$229 on Microsoft Store.
Okay, so we'll call it $230 just to be fair.
$230. Yeah.
That runs it to $470 total. If you bought 2 years of Game Pass, 2 years of Live, and an Xbox One S, you would actually only be paying $470. What's the total for their plan?
Okay, so the total cost for 2-year subscription to the Xbox All Access comes to about $528.
You're paying
for S.
Yeah, so you're paying $500. So you're paying $58 more doing it their way.
Current prices of services hardware separately cost you $660. If the customer's bought an annual Xbox Live, I mean,
it's actually a worse deal. If you do it, if you're able to do, now that's the thing. If you're able to do Game Pass and Live annually, it's a much worse deal. I say much worse. It's the cost of a game. But still, you're paying. This is actually because God, what's a 1X go for?
Oh, I don't know.
Let's look up an X. I'm curious about this because we established it's it's $240 for the subscriptions put together.
What's $499? It's $500.
So $500. Okay, and so that's $740 if you did it separate. What do they say it would be if you did it separate for an X?
$860.
So they're off by $120 on that one. So they're saying it would cost you $120 more than it actually would cost to do it separately. Wow, they are lying about this math.
Yeah, I don't know. Polygon put this together. A total cost of. Did you see the link? I think I sent it to you.
No. Oh, is Polygon doing this in Canadian? Because they do that sometimes.
No.
Are they doing it? Is this U.S. dollars or Canadian dollars?
I mean, it's just shows a dollar sign to me. It doesn't say Canada or anything like that.
Because that's not their math is wrong. Their math.
This is a total cost for 2-year subscription to Xbox All Access comes out to about $528 for the S, $840 for the X. At current prices, those services and hardware purchased separately would cost about $660 or $860 respectively if customers bought annual Xbox Live subscriptions. They're making it seem like you are getting a deal by doing the 2-year thing.
They're not by their math.
At least that's what I'm reading it.
No, their math is wrong.
Okay.
Their math is very wrong. Their math is off by what did I say? By $58 on one and $120 on the other.
Right.
Oh, their math is way off.
Yeah.
That's no good, man.
I don't know.
No,
I'm good.
They're wrong.
I'm good with my PlayStation until the next generation.
Okay, but hang on. Let me say this. What's the monthly price for the S All Access? That whole thing. You said it was what? $21.99.
$21.99.
Okay, $21.99 a month for 24 months gives you $527 and some change.
Right.
So $528, and then the other one they estimated was how much?
Well, the other one is $34.99 a month, and you are paying $840.
Yeah, that's right. So that math they got right, but
right, they're saying if you broke up all the services, it would be $660 and $860.
No, that was not true at all.
Yeah.
That was way not right. Are you, man? I really hope they're doing this in Canadian money, because that's.
Let's see here.
Because that's wrong.
20.
That's just flat out wrong.
Times. Oh no, 6. Yeah.
Because it's $60 a year for each, which is
$240.
Right, plus the price of the console. which is not what they're saying it is. What Polygon's saying it is. Their math is wrong.
Maybe they're adding taxes or something. I don't know. You're
No.
right. I agree with you.
I mean, if they're doing,
maybe there's something I'm missing here. I don't know.
No, because they're not. I'm gonna take a look at this later and really break this down. Because just by doing their math, it's not right. Like theirs doesn't check.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, you're right. The math doesn't add up. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I guess screw Polygon is what we're saying here. Hire an accountant. Somebody from the IRS, please check Polygon for accounting errors.
But I think that's cool. I mean, to pay more, you kind of have to expect that, and I think that's awesome. Like, if you don't have that money to put down, and you're like, hey, I want to just start playing games right now, and I want to buy an Xbox where I can have the entire first-party lineup.
Yeah.
Available right now, and like I said, this is perfect, especially for like college kids, where it's like, oh, I could just get this and fuck around with Halo and shit, and Fortnite, whatever. I have $24 burning a hole in my pocket. I'll go do it. If you have decent credit, then I'm sure you'll be fine. I think that's awesome. More
options.
More options is always a good thing.
Yeah.
It's gonna be curious if they do something like this during the launch of their next system, because that's when I'll eat it up on day one. That's when I wouldn't even think about it. It's like, oh, fuck yeah, I'll have the PlayStation 5 and this in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I doubt PlayStation would do this because they don't need to.
No, they
they
sell like crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's why I don't think PlayStation's gonna do the cross-platform until next generation. They've already kind of won this one. I think they'll wait until the next one and be like, guess what we're bringing to PlayStation.
But man, it's gonna, if they try to do it like it's some revolutionary thing, it's gonna blow up in their face. Just the PR of it. Like, people will buy it and they'll say this is great, but don't pat yourselves on the back for this. Come on. Now.
Yeah, but that's every company. I mean, there's some, there's some major tech companies who do the very same thing and people eat it up. So
they should.
And then it wouldn't be the first time Sony does it either.
That's true. But I mean, that's my thing. Is like they should just come out and own it. Say, you know what? We have heard you, and PS5 will have cross-platform games, and just own it. Just take it and say, you know what?
It will sell it as like revolutionary.
Oh my god!
First time ever on a Sony platform, you'll be able to play with your friends. Like they're gonna do that. Oh man. But yeah, no, these other companies are pushing it forward. And so I hope Sony jumps on as well.
Yeah.
Oh, but anyway, we got some other news. We got some Devil May Cry 5 news game releasing on March 8th, 2019.
Yeah, cool.
Now, did you see that the best-selling game of 2018 is Smash?
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. Man, fucking Goku's going to be in the game.
He's not, man.
Even Kind of Funny talked about it this week.
He's not going to be in the game.
Why would he not be in the game?
Because
literally, the people making the game own the rights to Dragon Ball Z.
I know,
Why would they not take the biggest fighting franchise on the planet right now?
Street Fighter?
No, Street Fighter is nowhere near Dragon Ball. Go look at EVO. What was the #1 stream thing there? Dragon Ball. What led EVO? Dragon Ball Fighters. It is bigger than Street Fighter at this point. Street Fighter's fallen way down because of their new game.
That's true.
Dragon Ball Z Fighters is the biggest fighting game on the planet. When you hear about EVO, if you go to any website right now, they are talking about the match between the American dude and the Japanese dude and who won and who they used. What should I do? I will eat my microphone if Goku is not in that game.
Now, give me a time frame.
I will eat it live.
No,
I mean
when.
Before the game is done, before they stop making it. They stop updating it.
Okay, so he may be DLC at some point in the future.
Guaranteed.
Is what you're saying.
Guaranteed he will be. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I'm almost certain he'll be in it before they do DLC, because that would be just some huge announcement they could do right before the game's release to be like, look who we have, because that's what they're doing every month. They're showing you new characters they're putting in the game, because during E3 they basically said, oh, every character ever in this game is now in it, and then the last thing they had. They were like, oh, by the way, here's like it was like 6 new, what was it, 4 or 5 new characters?
Something like that. We got some Castlevania people. We got some new, I think, Fire Emblem people.
Goku would be in it. It would be really cool if it was like Kid Goku and he was on the Flying Nimbus and stuff like that.
I'll tell you what, that I would buy. I'll tell you what, I won't argue against that. I think that would be neat.
It makes perfect sense. He's been on every Nintendo console ever made except for Virtual Boy. Why would Goku not be in the game? Yeah. It's made by the people who make it. Just makes sense. Yeah. It's like if Midway put out a fighting game and did not put Mortal Kombat in it somehow. Like, why would they not do that?
Well, because Midway doesn't exist.
I'm just saying, it's like if they had a Capcom verse whatever game, why would Ryu not be in the game? You know what I mean? It would not make any sense.
It's true. It's true.
And that's what they're doing. That's why we have Pac-Man, for Christ's sake. That's the only reason we have Pac-Man. I'm just kidding. We have Pac-Man because he's a super popular character. Or super known, I guess, in the history of video games. So it just makes sense, man. Yeah. It would be baffling and terrible for my digestive system if they don't put Goku in the game. And it makes sense, man, because then you can just do his Echo character as Vegeta. It's just, it writes itself.
I totally agree with you. I still just say it's never going to happen.
I know people didn't think Riley was going to happen. Look what we have. We have Castlevania in the game. Why would Goku not be there? We have Solid Snake in the game.
I agree with you. You're preaching to the choir, man. I don't have a reason. Like, I don't have an argument for why he wouldn't be there. Just that he won't. I don't have an argument. I don't.
Dragon Ball Z, you could argue that Dragon Ball Z has never been more popular than it is right now.
That's a fair point.
Dragon Ball Super being super on the tips of the tongues of everyone's mouth. They have a movie coming out at the end of this year with Brawly. This show is coming back next year. We have Giant Bombs, Jeff Gerstmann and Dan Reichert doing the biggest podcast on the planet, All Systems Goku. Dragon Ball has never been this popular, even when I loved it back in the day, because we're able to get it so frequently. And back then, you would get 12 episodes and then they'd restart the show.
Yeah.
Now it's like, you have it on 3 different applications you can watch it on. It's so fever pitch, especially with the fighting. The entire fighting community is obsessed with Dragon Ball right now. It just would make sense. And if you're going to make a Nintendo fighting game and your company owns the rights to it, they own the rights to it. There's nothing stopping them. Why would you not add Goku as the last surprise character for the game?
I'll tell you this. Here's what I want to see. I want to see a Nintendo Direct the day before Smash. And I want it, hear me out on this, because I want it to be, here's like a last minute update on Smash, and here's some stuff, and we talk with the devs. And there's one more thing, and it just fades to black, and you just hear the voiceover, "Your wish has been granted."
Yes, exactly.
There you go. And show whatever version of Goku you want. I like Kid Goku better, though. I think he fits better with kind of the cartoonishness of it. I like that idea. I really do.
Oh yeah, with the stick and the cloud, and all of that stuff would fit in perfectly with this. And then you could do just a shadow character just to give people their adult Goku. But I agree, the Kid Goku would be the preferred, I think, for it to be in there, and it would match with all the other characters.
Yeah. I would think either like that or like his final smash should be like he goes Super Saiyan.
That's true, yeah, he goes Super Saiyan. Oh, there's so many things you could do with this. One of your final smash could be fucking Dragon coming out and granting a wish or whatever. Like, you could do all sorts of crazy shit with Dragon Ball stuff. Yeah. Once you introduce that into the world of Smash, boy,
you blow a lot of doors open. Yeah, you're not wrong.
You get a sensu beans. Like, there's so many things you could put in there. Oh my god, its possibilities are endless. You can get fucking Bulma to help you out and shit. It would. Oh man, imagine if it was just Dragon Ball, just not Dragon Ball Z or any of that stuff, but just original Dragon Ball stuff in the game. That'd be crazy. But yeah, man, I'm super fucking pumped. It is. Oh man. Yeah. The Switch is great. I fucking love it. We got some Shenmue 3 news. Game is releasing August 27th, 2019. Some Streets of Rage 4, publisher Emu, releases the teaser trailer announcing the sequel to the 1994 Sega game.
It's going to be 25 years after Streets of Rage 3 was released that we're going to have Streets of Rage 4, because I'm sure it's coming out next year. It's a sequel 25 years in the making. A side-scrolling beat-em-up so epic it took 25... Like, the over-the-top marketing rights itself. I love it.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, that's cool.
This was bizarre. Who the hell asked for this news?
I don't know. Jeff Gerstmann, maybe. That's about it.
Like, I mean, because sure, whatever.
Yeah. Also some cool Switch news. Saint Rose the Third, the best of the Saint Rose games, is coming to Switch next year.
Wrong. That was Saints Row 2.
No, it was the third.
I love the things that they did with the third, and it was goofy and it was over the top. It's the most fun Saints Row game, hands down. But I think Saints Row 2 is the best.
Yeah.
But the third is super fun. I agree. I loved it. This is another piece of who the hell asked for this news.
Yeah, like, but fucking A. Oh man, the Switch is it would. The thing is they're getting away with shit that Sony and Microsoft would never get away with. But the fact that it's handheld, I think, changes everything.
Yeah.
Like if this was a regular Nintendo console, people would be like, "Why are we getting games from last generation?"
Yeah, this makes sense. Like, oh, I can take this with me. Cool. Like,
right. If you think about it, and I think I saw someone tweet this earlier, and it makes perfect sense. It's like the Switch is a weird next-gen console, but it's an amazing handheld.
Yeah,
it's true. It's so true.
I want one so bad.
Yeah. Oh man, you save up, dude, because
I'm trying.
It's time now, because especially with Pokemon coming out, dude.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the big turning point thing for a lot of people. And then once you get it, you're gonna be like, oh fuck, I have all these other games. I can play. Dude, you're gonna the Octopath Traveler. Oh man, you're gonna eat shit like that up. Dragon Quest. Did you see Kotaku's review for Dragon Quest?
No, because God, that came. No, that comes out next week, right?
Yeah, his review. It's an hour long, and I love how he opens up. He's like, I'm not trying to be hyperbolic, but this is one of the best video games ever made. And he's so he knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? Like
nice.
He's so aware of how ridiculous he's sounding, but he's like, this is the perfect game for someone who's never played Dragon Quest. It's also the perfect game for someone who has always played Dragon Quest, and he's just like, it's a sequel to the game from PlayStation 2, and all this other stuff, and the game looks fucking beautiful. But yeah, I go check it out. It's on Kotaku. I don't know the reviewer. I'm sorry, but it's the guy who does it for an hour. So go check that out. It looks so good. It looks beautiful because it has that art style. The guy who does Dragon Ball. What's his name?
Oh, God. Yeah, you asked me too quick. I know. Yeah.
Well, everyone listening knows who it is.
Anyway, yeah, that's cool. That's very neat.
But yeah, it came out yesterday. Tim Rogers is the guy who did it. Yeah, it's like a 40-minute long video, and it's just him. Like it's such a beautiful game, and it looks just fucking amazing. It's this huge open world game. But yeah. So anyway, that's another one.
Toriyama. Yeah, Akira Toriyama. I knew that.
Yes. Yeah. And that's also coming out on the Switch, but it will be sometime beyond 2018.
Sure.
So, yeah. Most people I'm sure will be picking that up on PlayStation. But I might hold off on that until the Switch version, because I'd rather play that on the Switch.
Fair.
But yeah, so it's gonna come out on PlayStation 4, and Microsoft Windows, but not the Xbox. Am I saying that right? Yeah, no, it's on PC, Nintendo 3DS for Japan only, PlayStation 4, and the Switch.
Well, it's because it's a mainly Japanese market-centric game, and Xbox just has never sold over there.
Right. Yeah, I saw like last month they sold 52 systems.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, the 360 didn't do a whole lot better. Right.
Yeah, it was just fucking bananas.
It cracks me up.
You know, Vita sold a couple thousand last month, so like it's insane.
Yeah, that's weird.
It sold like 3,000 consoles. Oh, this one sold 52. Like, ouch.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Microsoft should put out a handheld. That's what they should do. Put out a handheld that can play the entire Halo collection and all these other fucking awesome Xbox games from their past. Let me play KOTOR on it. I would fucking buy that. A handheld Xbox that can play fucking top-notch Xbox games.
Dude, that's a Surface. You're basically talking about a Surface.
I don't want a tablet.
Well, that's your choice.
I wouldn't like if the Switch was just a tablet. I like that it has actual tangible buttons and shit.
Well, you can get an Xbox controller to play. You can use an Xbox controller to plug into it. Man.
Yeah, but that's not plug an Xbox controller. No. I want an actual handheld that give me something that looks and feels like the Switch but plays Xbox games.
Yeah, never gonna happen.
I know. I know, like iOS, they have shit where you put on the side of your phone or an iPad.
Yeah.
I see kids play that all the time, like Fortnite and shit, but that itself is like $150.
Yeah.
So, no. But yeah, no, give me an Xbox handheld controller. Come on. PlayStation dived into it. Nintendo's killing it at it. Man, I would love that with Xbox. I would love that if they announced that alongside their new system. If they're like, hey, yeah, we're doing a handheld, by the way. You can play the entire Halo collection on it. I would eat that up. I would buy that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
But all right. So yeah. Where were we?
Amazon is looking to buy Landmark Theaters.
Oh, really?
It's a very small chain. It's only got 56 theaters.
Yeah.
And it's very niche. Like it's very like foreign and independent films, excuse me, which I actually think is perfect for Amazon.
Yeah.
As a way of saying, hey, you know what? We can have our releases in New York and LA at our own theaters so we can be eligible for Oscar nominations. Which is basically the whole point of this. Let's be honest here. So they don't have to pay a distribution fee. So,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. We in video games we have to talk about kind of what happened in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you haven't heard, which I'm sure you have, there's no way you didn't hear this. There was another mass shooting in our country, and it kind of hits home because it was at a Madden 19 tournament, and I believe 4 people were killed. Right, 2 of them were actual players, that were in the tournament. It was sad. It was all on a live stream too. Like it's terrifying to hear that. I don't know what to say. Like, mental health is a big problem in this country, and gotta stop pretending it's not. Same with guns. Gotta stop pretending that it's not a problem. Or that more guns will fix it. Or, well, if kids just acted right, then, like, it's ridiculous. And it's just sad at this point. I don't know what to say, don't let this stop you from going out and enjoying your life, going to a Pokemon tournament, or going out, like me, for example, I go out and play Pokemon Go with a ton of people in spots that are packed. And, it's hard not to think about this kind of stuff when you do that, but you gotta keep doing it. And I don't know, I saw that, like, I have to imagine, I hate that it takes tragedies like this for places to be like, well, we need better security. But that's basically what happened. All these security companies now that do these game conventions are like, oh yeah, we're on it now. And it's so tragic. I guess this guy lost a game and he couldn't deal with it.
Yeah.
And God, like I said, we got to do something, both with mental health, and guns, and stop pretending like it's not an issue in this country. But yeah, it's tragic.
Yeah, I mean I mean there was another tournament the next day, not at the same place, but like they didn't like other places that were holding tournaments didn't shut down. They looked at this and said, "This is awful. This is horrible." But as a community, we can't let one lunatic's actions stop us.
Right. And that's a big community too.
Yeah.
Like I was reading a lot of the hold on a second. Where is my I'm sorry, one second here. I was reading a lot of the forums and stuff from that community, what they had to say about it and stuff like that. And not only the Madden community, but like the streaming community in general, like Twitch and stuff like that. They really came out, and they were like, we got to do better. We got to watch out for each other. You go to an event, make sure there's security. If you feel you walked into a place and you could have had something on you, say something. Or say something to your teammates, or say something to your coach, or say something to the people putting it on, like, I don't feel safe. I could have had a gun because I didn't get checked walking into here. What's going to stop someone from walking off the street and doing something? Stuff like that. Like, they have to beef the security up with these kind of events. And I don't know. I personally, I think we need to change a lot of laws too, but I don't want to. I don't know. It's sad all around. And this is close home. I mean, we're gamers, just like the people that were sitting there, playing that. And it's fucking sucks. I don't know what else to say about it. There's really no way to transition or.
Yeah. No, I had a friend of mine, a couple of them that shared their story on Facebook. They were actually like headed into that place for something totally unrelated as people were running out.
Yeah.
And we're just telling them, run, go, run. Somebody's got a gun, go. And, they took off. But like what, to be in there and in that moment is one thing. Like, something bad is happening. We have to get out of here. But what is that like to be somebody who shows up in the middle of something like that?
Right.
And to just see people fleeing a scene in terror and to that confusion and just going, what the hell's going on? And people are just
don't know.
Just running out, screaming, run. Like, I mean, that's...
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I think a lot of people don't really know what real gunfire sounds like, because sometimes it could sound like a car backing up.
Yeah.
Or fireworks, or, I think a lot of military trained people, like my brother, for example, he knows exactly what it sounds like.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But the average people, because what we hear in video games
noise.
and movies is not what they sound like.
Exactly. And it's just, it could surprise you, the noise. And there's all different kinds of gunfire. There's all shotgun. There's all different kinds of muzzles and everything else. So like, just be careful. Surround yourself with people you love, and be careful where you're going. Make sure you look at the exits. Go out and live your life, but be extremely cautious and beware of your exits. When you go into a movie theater, when you go into any kind of event place where you're shuffled in there, make sure that you know exactly how you could get out in case of an emergency. Try to enjoy yourself, but it's just unfortunately a reality that we live in now. That you gotta be careful. And this was at like kind of like an outdoor thing too, right? Or do I have that wrong? Wasn't this at one of their like? It was like on an outdoor market.
It wasn't like a totally enclosed, like the whole facility wasn't enclosed, I think.
Gotcha.
But it was in like part of it was indoor.
Right.
Like,
okay.
Like where they were set up was indoor, but I think part of it, because it was a pavilion. So it was like part of it's inside, part of it's outside, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, that was it was all being streamed. This all happened live while being streamed, and it's sad.
It's horrifying. And
yeah.
It's and seeing those links, it was one of those things that's like I really don't want to watch this, but I have to. And it was just the audio from it, but you can see like this, like the moment before it happens, you can actually see like a red laser sight move across one of the guys.
Right.
And it's just it's terrifying.
Yeah.
It's genuinely terrifying. And you know, I'm tired of asking the question, what happens now? Because the answer is always nothing.
Yeah, nothing. They'll blame the video games, even though it's about football.
Yeah.
They won't touch mental health. They won't touch guns. Even though this is the country that has the worst issues with them. Yeah, I don't know. I after Sandy Hook, I don't know what is going to convince people in power to do the right thing at this point. I don't even know how you can look at this kind of stuff as, on the other side of the argument and go, well, we need more guns, you know what I mean? Or more guns, or, I mean, what's the argument for mental health? Like, let's think less of it? Like, it's just so baffling to me. I think to a lot of younger people, it's obvious what needs to happen. It's obvious that there's a problem, and I think it's obvious that it's not black and white, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Like, it can't just be a complete, I don't know. It's
Nobody,
complicated.
Yeah, but I mean that's the thing. Like nobody is going to come out and say ban all guns and
Right.
and expect that to go anywhere, because that's
Right.
I mean that's obviously not going to happen. But it's also not the answer.
Right. And that's the thing, is that some people are so willing to and afraid to have that conversation because they don't want to give any ground, any leeway. They don't want to go, well, maybe you're right about this, because then they think the floodgates are going to open,
Yeah.
and suddenly, people are going to get stripped out of their homes or some crazy thing like that. It's it sucks. It divides people, but as we can see, it kills a lot of people. And I'd rather have that uncomfortable conversation than more people dead because of it. And I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Your ability to hunt deer
Right.
with a military grade,
Right.
death machine.
And no one does hunt with that. Like I have a
they
family full of hunters, and I have a family full of military, and I have a family that's super pro gun rights. And it's funny because the one guy in my family recently who was in the military believed the same thing me and you do, and it's because he's young. He understands, like, guns are definitely never going to go away, but at the same time, we don't need that. We don't need something that you would use to go to war with to protect your family. You don't need that.
Yeah.
And yeah, shit's still going to happen. Let's just say for shits and giggles, we do have some strict gun laws, and we do have, like certain rifles or whatnot banned or extremely strict to get a hold of. Things are still going to happen, but it would probably happen at a less rate. Let's try it. Let's see what, it's the fact that no one's willing to budge at all. It is a line in the sand for some reason. Even though we can change laws written that long ago about other things like slavery and whatnot, but this is the one thing that people can't budge on, even though it's becoming a huge problem, and it has been for a long time.
Yeah, the reason that the youth are going to be the ones that have to fix this problem are because they're the ones getting shot.
Yeah,
and they're seeing this firsthand. I mean, that's I get it. A lot of the older generations are saying, well, yeah, we saw it too, but they saw it in combat. They saw it in situations where this was necessary. They didn't see it in 4th grade.
Right.
That that changes you. That's different on a whole other scale.
Yeah. And more so than ever, we're having to bury our kids, not because of war, but because of civilians.
Yeah.
And there's a what's that? There's a Native American proverb that's more about the planet Earth, but it's like, what is it? Treat the Earth well. It was not given to you by your parents. It was loaned to you by your children.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's kind of the same thing with this. Like, we're the ones gonna have to deal with this in the future. It's our kids, because now we're gonna have to bury our kids because of the mistakes that they made and the laws that they still keep. It's so sad, and it's I don't know. I hate getting political and stuff like that on a podcast. It's about to be fun and stuff like that, but we have to in situations like this when our own are getting killed.
Yeah.
And it's mental health is it's another big thing. Like, we need to stop acting like it's not real. We need to stop, acting like it's, I don't know. I wonder if this kid would have gotten help a lot sooner, and it wasn't, this, what's the word I'm looking for? If it wasn't the stigma attached to it, that maybe this wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And how many healthcare plans don't cover mental health treatment? Like, that's
Right.
another
Yeah.
big factor in it. Like, medicine of any kind is expensive. It's way more expensive than it needs to be, but that's a whole other, that's
Yeah.
a whole big pharma thing, and we just can't even begin to start that. But,
Right. No, I agree. Yeah. What if this kid could have got the treatment that he needed? Would he have done that?
and how many, to lay all the cards on the table, how blind were the parents? Like,
Yeah.
and in so many cases, like, how many parents don't know how to treat a child who grows up and winds up with mental health issues, either because of, say you come from a great home, you come from a loving home, but you were bullied in school, and your parents just miss it. They see your change in behavior, and they just think, oh, well, it's a teenager now.
Right.
They don't see that that's not what it is, and sometimes
It's a phase.
yeah, it's like it's just all they'll
We'll
grow
grow
out of it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not that.
Yeah.
I'm you're and I know this is rich coming from somebody who is not a parent and who hated when this happened, but you look back and you understand your job as a parent is to invade your child's privacy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Absolutely.
kids will hate hearing that, and they'll despise parents for it. But it's, you look at it in the benefit of hindsight, and you think, yeah, that is a parent's job.
It's that, or you have such an open relationship that your kid is not afraid to come to you when he messes up, especially when they mess up, so that they know they have an ally to go, hey, let's fix this. Let's figure out what's going on, and, let's get this right before you do somehow end up in such a tragic situation. Because I guarantee you that, what is it? What do they call? What's the phrase? Whatever's 2020. Hindsight's 2020. Like, that's so true when you think about it. Would you have rather have had those awkward conversations with your kid, or would you have rather something fucking shitty happen years later? Like, like I said, this isn't just a one thing that went wrong. It was a number of things that need to be addressed and have to be talked about, or it's just going to keep happening. You keep putting your head in the sand about it. Nothing's going to change. It just seems like a few weeks ago we had Vegas, and here in Orlando, and it's just or this down in South Florida with the school, like, that's all been within like a year, right? Like, fucking.
Yeah, Pulse was
2 years
Pulse
probably
was
ago.
2 years. Vegas was a year. Sandy Hook was 6 months.
Not Sandy Hook, but yeah, the school down in South Florida.
Stoneman Douglas, right?
Yes, yeah.
Sandy. God, how. I'm mixing up my school shootings.
Yeah.
That by itself is a sad statement on what this is. No, not that school that got shot up. One of the other ones.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Oh, you know what's really sad? I looked up the shooter of this, which we won't say the name because I don't want to give him the attention. I looked up his name just to see if he was on Facebook or something like that. And there was someone with the same name that had a in memory for a different school shooting that I never even heard about, or I guess like 4 kids got killed.
Jesus.
And it was just random. It was just him saying, like, in memory of this attack.
It was just,
and it was something completely different. Completely different at his high school.
Somebody who had the same name as the guy who did this, just by random chance happened to have died at another school shooting.
I didn't I shut the computer down at that point. I was so like, this is fucked up. And it's the reality we live in. It's guarantee it's gonna become a point where, like, 1 in 4 kids knows someone that was in a tragedy. For example, I do. We're all statistic. One of my friends, their friend died at Pulse. So like, everyone is going to be one person away. It's going to be like what's that thing? The
6 degrees.
6 degrees. Yeah, everyone is going to be like that in this country. You're going to be just a few degrees away from knowing someone that was involved. Odds are in one of these things. Vegas, Orlando. It's all over. It's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. But anyways, there's really no way to transition out of that. I think we've said what we mean to say. You want to talk about some SummerSlam, some wrestling? We'll try to brighten the mood a little bit before we get out of here.
Yeah, we'll end on a high note. Did you watch TakeOver from this week? Not this weekend, the weekend before.
Did not.
Oh
no.
Man,
let me explain. My internet was out for a long time, and I was pissed. I didn't even see parts of SummerSlam, honestly. I need to see TakeOver. Can we wait for TakeOver? We'll talk about TakeOver next week.
Okay, yeah, I want to
see that.
I would just say watch it. It's insane. And I'm sorry for all the great wrestling that there was, and it was all fantastic. Nothing beats the Velveteen Dreams tights.
Okay.
Nothing. There's nothing greader in life than that. I'm serious.
All right. I'll check that out. That was the one thing I didn't really watch. I don't know the results either. I know all the results of SummerSlam, and I've watched Raw since then. I've watched parts of SmackDown, and man, I love Kevin Owens.
I don't even know what he's doing, but like
I think he's going to the All In thing.
No, because he's not actually leaving.
I don't think he's leaving, but I think they're letting him go do that.
No, because dude, All In is on Saturday. There's no way.
He signed a new contract, and from what I understand, from rumors that I hear, is that he used Chris Jericho as an example of someone being able to leave and immediately come back, and to get word of mouth out about the company. Why wouldn't they let him go do a one-time show?
Here's the thing. I'm okay. I'm okay with that, and I think Owens is a smart choice because
very smart.
He was massive on the independent scene. He's got a huge following.
Imagine if he showed up in Chicago.
God, if he at any point pops up during that show, because it's the first. Yeah. Right? It's on the 1st, which is Saturday, which is weird.
Why would he quit? Does it make sense?
God, if he shows up at All In, I am gonna lose my mind. I am gonna freak. Awesome. Oh my God, it would be amazing because you would look at this and because it is an oh my God, what the hell is going on moment.
Yeah.
Oh, it would be crazy.
I mean, I saw the Cody Rhodes meme of him like holding his ear up with the camera coming towards it when he said, "I quit."
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
See him and Neville wrestle since Neville's not like his contract is finally expired now.
Oh, okay.
So he'll be there. You think he won't be there? Shoot, he'll be there in a heartbeat.
Yeah. What about CM Punk? Do you still think he won't show up?
I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore. I'm just done.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting though. WWE, it talks about like who all's going to show up at Evolution. Like what other names from the past are they going to have stop by? They've been talking to AJ Lee apparently.
Oh, really?
I don't think that's going to go anywhere, but I don't know. I don't know. I doubt it just because it's Punk. And if I were in her situation, I wouldn't go just because it's like that's just no. But
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. That's their business.
Yeah. So let's talk about SummerSlam.
Yeah. The mix. I love that the pre-show ended with roll-ups. Every single one of those matches ended with a roll-up. Zelina misjudged the distance on her pinfall and couldn't, like, she was too short for her feet to reach the ropes, which was just hilarious. Cedric rolled up Gulak in a match that did not do the Cruiserweight Championship justice. I was bummed because 205 Live is a fantastic show. 205 Live is great. You wouldn't know it watching the championship match from the SummerSlam pre-show. You wouldn't. And that sucks.
Gotcha.
My boys retained the Raw Tag Team Championships.
The B Team.
The B Team, go, go, go.
I wish they would give someone else to go against, except for the Revival.
It's the idea of, like, here's what's over versus here's what's actually wrestling, and I like that narrative. I like the story that they're telling there. Like, they worked on it some more on Raw this week, and I like it. I like it a lot.
They said Jim Cornette's name.
God, man, like,
he's loving this, I bet.
I don't know, man. I can't tell with Jim. But,
I gotta watch his podcast. I gotta listen to his podcast. I wonder what he's been saying about it.
Oh, I haven't listened for a while, but because Jim is very Jim. You can love him, you can hate him. He doesn't give a damn.
Right,
and he really doesn't. That's what I love about him. It's not an act. He genuinely doesn't care.
Oh yeah.
Rollins and Ziggler put on just a banger of a match.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was fantastic. I dug the Thanos ring gear. I know some people were so down on it. I was like, why?
I love his shit. He always comes out with something different and unique, and that boot looked fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I don't understand how you be down on that, but yeah.
But good match, good story. The SmackDown tag title match was rushed.
Yeah.
I liked the ending. I actually liked the DQ ending. I think that it wasn't even a 10-minute match. And I think I like the idea of the Bludgeon Brothers being desperate.
Yeah.
But it was too short. It needed to be twice as long.
Right.
So that you could say, oh my god, the Bludgeons actually can't, like, they're running up against a wall here. They've never faced a team that's pushed them this far. What do? And then they grab the hammers. With better storytelling, that absolutely could have worked.
Yeah.
And I wonder how much of that was because of Rowan's injury. Like, if they had to cut it short because of his bicep, or if that happened, I don't know.
Right.
But anyway, New Day picked him up on SmackDown the following week, and I haven't seen from tonight. I'm gonna watch it, like, I've recorded it. I'm gonna watch it after the show, because they had the big celebration tonight, and God only knows how. Like, I'm sure there was a catastrophe, but I want to see what it was. But good for them. And they put on the match that they had on SmackDown last week was the match they should have had at SummerSlam. It was awesome. It was such a damn good match. And it's why, I got, WWE did their buy one shirt, get one for $1 sale last week. And I was like, I was torn between two shirts, but they didn't have a B Team shirt in my size. They only had smalls, which bothered me. Because I wanted a Velveteen Dream shirt, and I got that. And nice. I was like, I want a B Team shirt just because it's only going to be $1, and I can justify that.
Right.
For that shirt. I'm like, I bought this for $1. But they didn't have.
So you got the Roman shirt instead? Or did you get the vest? Just the vest.
Just the vest.
Did you see the guy just wearing the vest at Raw?
But so I got the Pancake Power shirt instead.
Oh, there you go.
It's like, it's awesome. Like, New Day shirts are fantastic. I love them all.
Oh yeah.
Braun Strowman came out,
squash KO,
and I was trying to think of a better way to say it than that. Like, but I mean, just came out and just destroyed him.
Have you seen his Twitter?
Owens.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, he's cleared everything off of it, but like 2 tweets from Monday.
Yeah, it's 2 tweets. The first set of tweets are like his first few years at WWE, where he's getting all these championships and he's winning, and he's with Zayn, and then like the last 6 months is this next tweet, and it's him like in a porta potty, him getting squashed, him getting his ass kicked. Like, he's just like, I'm done, I quit.
It's I tell you what, it's telling an interesting narrative.
Yeah, it is.
I'm
He's
all
just
for it.
enjoying Disney. He's back at Disney now.
Yeah.
And his family is
yeah.
funny.
But it did set up something for later in the night, which we'll get to. But I was a little bummed, but part of me was like, this kind of makes sense because Strowman is a monster, and when they book him that way, this is how this should happen.
Yes.
So I was all right with that. The SmackDown Women's match was a good match. It showed Carmella doing some really great heel work.
Mm-hmm.
It was really good. I did not like Charlotte winning, and I'm very glad Becky punched her in the face a lot because of it.
Yeah.
I hated the promo on SmackDown that week. I hated last week where she was like, and none of you believed in me. No, we all believed in you. Like, that is creative saying, here's what you say. And they have no idea. Like, they're not paying any attention. Because the entirety of the internet was behind Becky Lynch.
Right. Oh, yeah.
But she had a tweet earlier today from before SmackDown, which I really loved. Was WWE put out a tweet that was like a picture of Becky, and it was captioned, were you behind Becky Lynch the whole time she was chasing the SmackDown Women's title? And she retweeted it, and it just said, "You should ask yourself that question, WWE." I was like, oh damn, that's some straight fire.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe and AJ Styles had a Who's Your Daddy match.
Did you see his 24?
I didn't, but I want to because I'll bet it's amazing. They had Samoa Joe, that match cemented Samoa Joe as a main eventer in WWE, no question. Sure. And then his promo on Smack, the fact that he got up in mid match, it was a house show, and grabbed a microphone, and cut that promo, it justified. I get it. Again, it was a DQ finish. They earned that one. They did, because it's like, oh, no, the hell you don't. And AJ lost his mind.
Yeah.
And then to come out and basically just crank that to 11 on SmackDown the following week.
Right.
Oh, man. That's a match that when they have it inside Hell in a Cell, at Hell in a Cell, is going to earn it.
They address a lot of that in the 24 too. It goes right up to SummerSlam, and
nice.
About, I guess, because I didn't see a lot of the stuff before SummerSlam, and I guess he was talking about AJ's family and wife a lot before that.
The SmackDown before SummerSlam, the go home show, he's reading a letter from, quote, a member of the WWE universe.
And so they do that on the 24.
Yeah.
Or not the 24, but whatever it is, it's like
it's just like a special or something.
It's a special, and it shows all that stuff. And he's like, at the end of it, he's like, some people think I crossed the line, but he's like, this is war. I can use anything to get inside of his head, and you best believe I'm going to use anything to get inside of his head.
Absolutely.
He's like, this isn't fun. This isn't something. We're not gonna hang out on Sunday. This is a war, and if I can get in his head, and I can he's like, I can set up shop, and I can relax and kick my feet up inside of his head. You best believe that's what I'm doing. Yeah, it makes sense. That's what you do. This is wrestling.
That's how that's supposed to be. My favorite bit of heel work in the last decade, I think, was Sasha Banks and Bayley in that Iron Man match. At that one NXT takeover that they had in Orlando, where she went over to Izzy and took the little flower out of her hair, and Izzy was just broke down bawling. I'm like, that's a bad guy. You're supposed to boo them, and they're supposed to do things like that.
Yep, just like Kevin Owens, he's one of the best.
Yes, because he just doesn't care, and that's...
even though he's such a baby face right now.
Yeah, he is.
People fucking love Kevin Owens. But yeah, no, I agree. He's one of the best, especially when he'll rip up a kid's sign, or he'll take their phone or something and do he'll go like, I'm on Instagram. I forgot what he said one time. He's like, this kid doesn't even have Snapchat, and he's mocking the kid. He's like, what kid doesn't have Snapchat? My 6-year-old has Snapchat.
Yeah, and the best one is, when he's got Roman Reigns down in that chinlock, and he's hollering at the guy in the front row, I made more merch sales this month than you've made in your entire life. And Roman is trying so hard not to laugh.
Yeah.
It's fantastic, man, because you're just sitting there and you're like, you're a bad guy. You're supposed to act like a bad guy. And they get, and some of them get it, and some of them don't.
Yeah.
And some of them are just so ready and willing to listen to the company tell them, well, everybody has to be kind of a tweener because you can't go too far because it's a PG show. So you find PG ways to be just a horrible person.
Yes, absolutely. Or you find a way to kind of find that edge.
Yeah.
And maybe put a toe over it.
Yeah, just a little too far.
Yeah, don't do it too far, but at the same time, it's the only way you're going to be seen.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Well, they talk about that brass ring all the time, and they're afraid to reach out for it because they're afraid they're going to be fired or something like that. But at the same time, you gotta make some risks.
That's why I love the Velveteen Dream, man. Because if there is anybody there, I don't think. Because I'm telling you, man, watch Takeover and look at those tights. There is nobody in that entire. There is nobody in the entire company of WWE.
You know what?
Right
I didn't see what it says, but I remember seeing something that Triple H was like, "There's some calls you want to get from Vince after a show, and this is not one of them."
Yeah, well, like this is the thing.
I guess whatever he did was super bad.
It's one of those things you read it, and as soon as you see it, you're like, "Oh, he did this."
Yeah. Because I guess no one knew.
No, and
whatever it is,
and that's the thing of like, you want to talk about brass rings, like this is how you reach up and grab one. And for all that talk, I mean, they talked about it when it came to Cesaro, and CM Punk talked about it, and he wasn't wrong. How many of those so-called brass rings do you have to reach out for? And for some people it works, and for some people it doesn't. And what's the criteria there? And nobody knows.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you what, man, after Velveteen Dream came out at TakeOver last time around, and it was like, oh, and we've reinstated Hulk Hogan in the Hall of Fame, and he goes, great, I'm going to come out to the ring in Prince Puma pants, which was Ricochet's gimmick from Lucha Underground, and a Hulk Hogan like bandana. But
he's so meta.
But just like,
which the indie people love.
Well, and the other thing is that you look at that and you're just like, the giant brass set that a guy like Velveteen Dream has.
Oh yeah.
To do that, and it's
what you gotta do.
Yeah, and that's it, and that's he's. If they put him on the main roster and gave him the same freedom that he has in NXT, he would be the next Rock. I will stake anything on that. Absolutely. Because he has the charisma. He has the talent. He has way more in-ring talent than The Rock did. Yeah. I'm sorry. Rock was not a great wrestler. He wasn't.
No. He just had a million times more charisma.
He did. All. He had so much charisma that it didn't matter.
He knew how to get moves over. Even like the weird shit like the people's elbow. Yeah. How ridiculous that is. Yeah. And it's now arguably top 5 moves people know about in wrestling.
I mean, that's, there's...
You ask anybody, like, off the street that maybe watched wrestling in the 90s or briefly know about it, you say the people's elbow, odds are they're going to know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, The Rock, and he does that thing and then, like, runs across the ring. Like, they know it,
yeah. Yeah, oh, yeah. And, that's so ridiculous over moves that are, people probably know that over, like, I don't know, the figure 4.
Yeah.
Classic moves that, or it's crazy. Yeah. It's absolutely crazy. But I agree with you. That what I've seen of him has been nothing more than astonishing.
Yeah, he has it. And I remember when they showed the first vignettes for him, and I was like, they're doing, it's going to be WWE trying to do a gay character again. And
that's kind of what I thought too, like a Prince or something like that.
Yeah,
he's so.
I was so wrong. I'm so happy I was wrong, because it's like, no, he's just his own style. Some of it's flamboyant, some of it's whatever, but he doesn't care. It's whatever it is, and I love him so much. I had to get a shirt, man. I don't like the design of the shirt all that much, because it's just the big giant V on it and everything. You've seen the shirt. It's not the best design, but I was like, I want one. I don't care. I gotta have one. It's so good.
Yeah.
But when they call him up, if they let him do his thing,
Yeah.
It's going to be incredible. But they won't, so, let him stay in NXT and keep doing that forever.
Right.
Where he's just going to crush it every time.
Oh, yeah.
But where were we? The Miz beat Daniel Bryan in a fun and beautiful bit of poetry with a punch to the face.
Yeah.
Granted, he had brass knuckles on, but, it's like, I'm going to punch you in the face. All right, Daniel. And then he gets beat by a punch to the face. I loved it. It's great.
Yeah.
Demon Finn Balor destroyed Baron Corbin, which I thought was great. This feud is still ongoing, and it sucks.
It's terrible.
But, it's at least Finn's on TV, and it's setting him up to be kind of counter-authority, I guess. I don't know exactly what they're doing. Nakamura and Jeff Hardy had a match where Jeff Hardy continues to try to just do horrifying things to his body on live TV.
He's got a 24.
Yeah, the Woken. Yeah, that's a hell of a thing. And you watch it, and then you remember, like, he's 40-something now, man.
Yeah.
Like, he's still, like, he did a this match, he did a swanton onto the apron. Yeah. The apron! You don't... At least when he was diving off ladders, he had a body to go through before he hit the floor.
Yeah.
There was a body and a table, and then there was floor. So it still hurt, but there was some cushion. This was just straight onto the apron, and the sound. Oh my god, the sound between that and Ciampa hitting the concrete like 2 takeovers ago. Like that first match that he and Gargano had. Those sounds just haunt me. Oh, they're awful. Oh, they make you hurt.
Yeah, I saw this part.
But anyway, Rousey came out and destroyed Alexa Bliss in a way that worked. Like, this was another squash match that worked.
Yeah.
Because
I hope Alexa gets it back at the next pay-per-view. I think that'd be interesting.
No, I don't want to see that. No, because Ronda needs to hold this title for a little while.
I think she does, because I saw that Ronda's going to be in a mixed tag match or a tag match for the Greatest Show or whatever. How cool would it have been with Alexa with the title versus Trish Stratus?
No.
Why wouldn't they give her the... But I'm just saying...
Because, I mean, here's the thing.
Why would Ronda be in a tag match as the women's champion in that pay-per-view?
Well, I mean, it's not Alexa versus Trish at the show down under either.
Well, that's what... Isn't it?
No, that's at Evolution, and you're mixing that up with Evolution.
I'm mixing it up with Evolution then.
Yeah, it's Alexa versus Trish at Evolution.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is
the mixed tag will be at Show Down Under, but that's not Evolution.
So who's Ronda facing at Evolution?
We don't know yet.
Okay. So I was totally wrong.
Yeah, it's probably going to be one of the Bellas because they're trying very hard to stay relevant outside of reality TV.
I like Alexa so much more than the Bellas.
Oh, I will take anybody over the Bellas. I'll take Vicky Guerrero back over the Bellas because at least she was a good heel. She was really great.
What I'm thinking is it's going to be Natalya, like turning on her to try and get it.
I think they will eventually do that at some point. They just it's gotta wait.
Yeah,
because nobody's gonna buy it, because
no one's gonna want to boo her right now.
Exactly, and they're not gonna want to do the whole, they brought, when the night after my father died, and they brought you out to pay tribute to him instead of me. Like that's just too far.
Yeah, I agree. And well, then again, I mean, we're still talking about the company who threw Charlotte's brother under the bus.
Yeah, and everybody involved in that came back and was just like, yeah, that was too far.
That was way too far. Yeah. I don't know who could.
It's gonna be Rousey and the Bellas, and maybe because that'll be far enough along because that's October 28th. Yeah, it's October 28th. That's it's 2 months. I think that'll be far enough along where they can build to that, because whatever Bella it is that's in the ring will have the other one in their corner, and Ronda will have Natty in her corner, and it'll be whatever, and Ronda wins, and that's when you get the turn. I think it's far enough along, and I think it'll work.
Yeah,
the pieces are there for it.
I'm just a big Alexa Bliss fan, so.
And that's fair, because she's so
entertaining.
She is, and I'm sorry, but A Moment of Bliss was an inspired segment. That was fantastic. It really was. But there's, I like the way that Ronda took the belt, because Alexa is a cowardly heel.
Oh no, I agree, and I think honestly, Alexa's at a point she doesn't need the belt. She's so far over in the women's division that she doesn't need it. To me, she's kind of like Braun right now, where they both they were introduced into the main roster at the same time, and they both just naturally got over with the fans.
Agreed.
There was no. It doesn't seem like there was some. It doesn't. Maybe there was, but it doesn't seem like there was some corporate push to push them. It seems like the fans genuinely love them. And I think both of them, honestly, are at a point right now where they don't need that championship. If they gave it to Braun tomorrow, people are not going to boom like they did Roman. And same with Alexa. They're too big at this point, I think, even for a belt. That's why Alexa's fighting Trish at, that show, because she said it. She's like, "I'm the next you." It's true.
I think Sasha would have been a better choice, because they kind of set that up at the Royal Rumble.
I think in the long run, years from now, I think Sasha and Alexa are going to be putting on some crazy matches. Of course, Bayley and whatnot, and Bayley and Sasha have this history, but Sasha and Alexa have a real beef, and I think that would be interesting. To tackle.
I think done right, Sasha and Alexa could be Lita and Trish, no question.
Right.
I love Bayley to death. I am a massive Bayley fan, and I hate what they've done to her on the main roster, man. Because her in NXT was amazing, and then they kind of turned her into Eugene when she got up to the main roster, almost. Like, they didn't go the whole way with it, but. Evolution is Sunday, October 29th. It's in New York. Raw the following night on October 29th is going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina. I am going to be straight across from the hard cam, one section up.
So nice.
I'm not going to be on the floor, so you might not be able to see me, but I'm the first, bleacher section, the first actual stand section, so I don't know.
That'll be cool.
Keep an eye out. I don't know what shirt I'm going to wear yet. Because I want to get, it should be well, you should wear the podcast shirt. And that's true, but I kind of want to get a beanie made with the podcast logo on it, and then...
Oh, that would be cool.
And then wear a shirt for the wrestling group that we're in.
Yeah.
Because I picked up one of those a while back, so I was like, I don't know, I think I'm going to do that.
That'd be cool. That'd be dig that. We didn't talk about the main event.
No, we didn't, because it was fairly short. It was.
I didn't see this. This is a match I didn't see, but I know the result.
It was cleverly done. They brought out Brock and they brought out Roman, and they're getting ready to fight. And then here comes Braun, and he stands at the ring and he says, "I'm standing here because he's basically holding his Money in the Bank contract like a quarter in an arcade, and he's standing there going, 'I got next,'
right?
Basically." And so, there's a scuffle in the ring, and Reigns goes to spear Brock, and Brock moves, and Reigns goes out of the ring and collide, and it turns into a dive, and he hits Strowman. And Brock looks at this, and, he looks at Strowman, and he goes, "Hey, I can beat him with his briefcase because he's not in the match. I'm not going to get disqualified for beating up some dude who's out here at ringside."
Right.
And then he F5s Braun, but that's... and then he's like, "Well, I'm going to grab a chair and tear up Roman because I don't care, because I'm Mr. UFC and I'll do whatever I want." And that was his undoing. And, spear, 1, 2, 3. Those were the bullet points of the match. But it was smart. Braun shows up and it's distracting, and Brock, and I liked the message here. Brock is trying to focus on two things at once, and he lost.
Yeah.
And I love that because it ties into the bigger narrative of him and UFC and WWE. Hey, you focus on two things at once, you lost.
Okay. I
loved the narrative there. He's focused. He's supposed to be focused on Roman, and here comes Braun, so he's going to focus on the other guy, and he took his eye off the ball, and he lost.
Right.
And I loved it. I really loved the narrative. I didn't, and And, I did hate that Braun was still kind of, like, sitting up on the outside against the railing, like, oh my god, that F5 hurt a lot, and I can't get up and cash in. Right. I hated that, because it was he got whooped with the briefcase pretty solid, but it was one F5. Come on, man, get up. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. But it was clever. The way they did it worked. It left people not entirely unhappy. So,
Right.
And we're going to get Brock Roman at Hell in a Cell. Or Braun Roman at Hell in a Cell. So
I don't like how they're cashing it in. It's like this match.
Yeah, because they've done that before, and I've never liked it. Like, that's not the point of that contract.
No, it's supposed to be a big pop and a surprise at the end of a match.
Yeah, or at least something like that.
Because it's like, of course he could just have a match. They get matches all year long. They get opportunities all year long for a championship match. But the Money in the Bank is like okay, you just went to war with somebody. You're beat to hell, and now I get to slide in and get it. But yeah, I get what they're doing. They don't want Braun to be like, he's like, no, I'm coming at you head first to let you know this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because, that means he's going to lose. Like, I'm sorry, it just
exactly.
I hate it.
And it's another waste of it. Second year in a row, it's a waste. Yeah. And I get why they wasted it on what's his name?
Corbin,
Corbin, but Braun deserves it. Like,
yeah.
And maybe they'll do the angle where he'll get it at Mania or something after botching
I'll tell you what I want. Because Eric Rowan is out injured. Matt Hardy is going to be in production until whatever's going on with him. So the other two members of the Wyatt family have nothing to do right now.
Yeah, that's what I read that too. That a lot of people are saying the Wyatts because what's his face? He actually posted something.
Yeah. Braun posted like never forget, like the Wyatts and the Shield. It was like a never forget. Yeah. And I want that. I want Braun to be winning against Roman, and here comes the Shield, which I didn't, people got mad. They're like, so what, is the Shield heel now? No, I like this. This is a brotherhood. So they said, hey, you know what? Our boy is going to get beat here, and we don't want that to happen. We got his back. So they came out and they beat up Braun. I'm good with that. I like that because that makes sense.
I don't think it was a heelish move. I just think it's weak. Like, I don't know.
I don't think it was weak because all three of those guys are top tier guys. Even Dean was WWE champ for a while and still held that momentum.
No, I agree. It's just when I say weak, I mean like this is the same thing all over again.
But I liked it. Like, it wasn't a complete reunion. It wasn't like, oh, and the Shield's back together. It was like, no, we're just.
Oh, I did not see that as anything else besides a complete reunion.
No. It was a way
they
of
have
saying,
the shirts, like they're reborn. Back.
Well, never a chance to pass up merchandise. It was because they even came out. Roman even did a halfway decent promo for a change. And was saying, they didn't do it because I told them to. They did it because we're a brotherhood. And, we're off doing our own thing. But if one of us is going to get ganged up on, the rest of us are going to come out. We all have each other's backs. And I dug that. I like that narrative. And that's fine. So that's how I see it happening. Roman's going to get beat down and Braun's going to be about to win. And here comes the Shield to even the score. And, cue the spooky music and the lights go out and they come back up and here's the Wyatt family and they're out there to have Braun's back. And I love that. I know they kind of did a thing with Dolph and Drew this week, but I don't think that's not an
ongoing thing.
Yeah, it's not an alliance. It's just a matter of, look,
Braun's just hey, I'll beat him up with you guys.
Yeah, it's like, he has what I want, and you guys want to beat him up, so I'll beat him up too. Like that was an alliance of opportunity.
Yeah, but I could see a Wyatt family reunion.
I absolutely see it. I believe that's what's going to happen at Hell in a Cell. No doubt in my mind.
Yeah. And that'd be awesome. Have Braun win that way. That'd be fucking amazing.
Because are you kidding? Like, the crowd would go ballistic. Because the Shield versus the Wyatts was an amazing feud. It was so good.
Yeah.
So bring that back. Yes, absolutely.
Oh yeah. So wait, when's the next pay-per-view?
Oh, Hell in a Cell is what, end of September?
End of September.
Is it September? Or is it October? They may take September off.
No, because they have the other thing in October. They have
Evolution, but that's towards
Evolution.
the end of I don't know.
And when's the Australia thing?
The
Super Show.
That's something in September.
They need to do better names.
Well, I mean, it was not like that's not something that's meant to be like a whole big. It's like
I know, but these new shows that are they're canon, but they're not. They're like like sidestep canon.
That's yeah. Well, they
like
did
the greatest Royal Rumble. Like you do a better name than that.
They did that with the British shows way on back in the day. Like they would hold 2 pay-per-views a year in the UK.
I agree. Call it Starrcade or something in Australia.
Yeah, I mean that's fair.
Like what's the theme of it? Just call it Starrcade. It doesn't,
okay.
The Super Show doesn't make any sense.
Okay, Hell in a Cell is on September 16th, so it's in 3 weeks. It's 2 weeks. 2.5 weeks. God, really? Damn. Okay, 2.5 weeks. Because Super Showdown is October 6th. It's at the beginning of October.
Right. Okay.
And then Evolution is at the end of October, and then what's the next one after that? I don't know. It's not
WrestleMania. No, I'm just kidding.
No. It'll be like the beginning of November, end of November.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whenever, middle of November. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, that'll be neat. So yeah. Don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that'll be when all that's going down.
That's cool. That's awesome. Yeah, no, I'm so torn. Some parts of Raw I feel jaded. The other I'm like, this is awesome. I can't see where this goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I need to watch NXT Takeover because that's usually my favorite.
Takeover is always good. And here's the thing: SummerSlam this year was not because usually if you do Takeover and then a show, the show is like it's not gonna live up to Takeover at all.
Yeah.
SummerSlam, while not being an extraordinary show like Takeover was not bad in comparison. It held its ground for a change this year.
Yeah, no, I need to see it. I need to see it for sure.
Definitely watch Takeover.
But we need to get out of here. We'll be back next week. Make sure you come to our Facebook group, We Geek Podcast. Make sure you go to our YouTube, We Geek Podcast. We put the episodes up every week. Make sure you download us, subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, or the Google Podcast Store. Any of your podcast services. Look for us, We Geek Podcast. Make sure you go to our Twitter at We Geek Podcast, at the Logan Witt, at Adam Estep. Yeah, that's it. We'll be back next week. And Captain.